and markets kind of sold off on the news. And now, as of just moments ago, the S&P has filled the gap, flipped positive on the day, not by much, 0.03%, but it was down a 0.5%. And it's looking very, very strong right now. So even though we had that sell-off yesterday, I mean, this thing looks like it's ready to go at the moment. Let me pull up my chart here. We're looking at a 5-minute chart. So here's the S&P market. Here's the report. Came out GDP. Sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off at the open. Since 9:40, it's been a rocket right now. We're now positive on the day. Waiting for the Qs to do the same. Again, after that kind of nasty sell off yesterday. But let's remember where we're at here. This is a 200-day moving average. This is a big, big mental resistance line here for traders, especially with all these fears, with the kind of bears taking over temporarily. We get back here and it says, okay, Bulls, what do you got? Well, this is going to be a typical resistance point. So it's very usual to see a rebound lower off of that before we head higher. I told you that in many of the classes we've had. It's very usual. Let's look back here to April sell-off. This is a 50-day moving average, but same sort of thing. Lower, head higher, hits the 50-day moving average, same thing. Oh no, oh no, oh no, and then we went higher from there. So again, I'm not saying we're guaranteed to go make new highs from here, but what I am saying is that it's very, very usual for the markets to get some resistance off of these major market points. What we would like to see is the next time it tests a 200-day moving average, a big gap through and then a strong finish through to the 50 would be ideal. So the next time we come up here to test the 200-day moving average, S&P, that'd be right around 575. We want to see it follow through the next day here in this kind of, what does Roger call it? I can't remember. But there's no man's land before we get to the 50-day moving average. So we didn't get that here. We got the pop through, little settling, and then a sell off yesterday. And then now look at the buyer stepping in today with the negative market open. And it's a very, very sharp V-shaped movement today. To me, that's a very bullish sign. So today, obviously, we're seeing a lot of volatility. Even with the market slightly up, the VIX is up. We've seen the VIX make some crazy pops lately, right? December, we saw it. January, multiple in January, February, going into March, a huge one here. What this measures is just it takes the pricing of the options market and then tells you how volatile the stocks are, or in essence, how much are stocks moving per day. Another good look at this is if I pull up the SPY, let me add in the ATR. This will give you a good view on how volatile the markets are. Typically, a good market that's going higher and higher and higher, you want to see ATR dropping. ATR is just the average true range. It's on average, how much does the SPY move per day in this instance? Because I'm looking at the SPY. So when it's going lower and lower and lower, typically that means the markets are just chugging higher and higher and higher. When you get these big spikes, that's typically a sell-off. Big spike, that's a sell-off. So if we're way up here, which if you look at like the average, should be right around here, maybe even lower if I go longer term. The average is probably down in the $5 range. So we're about 80% more volatile right now than usual. So we're getting these big moves each and every day. Now, the reason it spikes when markets fall is because, as you know, markets fall a lot faster than they go up. They say walking up the stairs and taking the escalator down or the elevator down. And that's just the way it works. So when we get these big spikes in volatility, there's a couple different tactics we can use. I'm going to walk you through one today. Oh, no. I'm going to have to restart my Thinkorswim. I'll walk you through it today here in just a couple of minutes. And we'll do some live trading too. The elevator shaft, yeah. What's my thought on HWM? I really like HWM long term, but it got taken down with the markets yesterday. Um, I'll pull up my Thinkorswim once I can log back in here in a minute. Sorry, it just crashed on me. And I'll take a look at it here in a second. And then Chris Pulver will be joining us a little bit later today too to talk about volatility and how he is handling it in the day to day. Again, I'm typically more of a swing trader. I've got my moonshots program, which will go overnight hold times, but typically I'm more of a swing trader. Um, Chris is going to talk us through not a I guess it could be a day trading Just a very short-term strategy that works well in these kind of markets. So here's HWM to answer your question. Right now it's down. You can see the similar V-shaped recovery this morning on HWM, but we're going to need the markets to carry through for this one. Long term, I really like it. I mean, look at these beautiful, I'll just zoom out again. Beautiful swings up here, comes down. You can see with Newton as well, when it flips green, just flip green typically is a good moment for HWM. So flip green there, sell there, nice move. This was earnings, but here it flipped green here, higher, 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 higher. So again, just flip green. Yes, we're getting a little shakeout right now with the rest of the market, but this is one of the more beautiful charts out there. Let's see how its cousin GE is doing, slightly down today as well. Those are two stocks I really like right now. I wonder how Progressive positive on the day. My insurance stocks are all looking good today. Typically they go up when the markets fall, but I would love to see the markets rally hard from here. So with that said, I'm going to talk you guys through a special options type of strategy. Originally, I was going to walk you through what I call money flows at the beginning of the month or turn of the month investing strategy. And I was going to build a scanner and code for you so you could do it too. But then I realized I typically look for these new opportunities on the third or fourth day of the new month. And that's going to be Thursday next week. So I said to Deanna, I said, let's just move it back a week. Let's do the money flows strategy coaching next week. I will give you guys a scanner. I will build that for you guys live so you can take it home with you for free. So make sure to be here next Thursday at 10 a.m. and of course Tuesday as well. But today I'm going to walk you through my elite options trades. I've currently got one open to the downside on NVIDIA. Now let's see how NVIDIA is doing today. Down. So it should be up nicely today on NVIDIA. It can work to the upside, to the downside. Doesn't really matter. But what it is we're going to just go slightly out of the money. Slightly out from my normal options position to go for these bigger wins. So we're going to need a little bit more bigger of a move in a stock, but it'll generate bigger wins. So between 150 to 300% ROI. And the reason I want to teach it to you now is, again, because if we look at the S&P, just for example, it's going to be similar for all stocks. When we look at the ATR, which is the average movement per day, we are getting a lot bigger moves right now than normal. Normally, we're getting these average size moves. Right now, we're getting bigger moves. So it's a very opportune time to take advantage of this style of options trading. Now, just curious, two questions for you guys. Number one, how many of you guys have been to the elite training options before? Give me a yes or no. So no if this is your first time. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, 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 no. Wow, a lot of no's. Just once. Cool. So a lot of newbies here. I love it. The second question for you guys is, wow, a ton of no's. This will be great. Second question for you guys is, how many of you are in Telegram? Because if you're not in Telegram, you're missing out. I give some of these trades away for free. I did one for free on Carvana the other day. It was up almost 100%. Now it's up 30%. I gave that one away for free. And then also, obviously, in these opening playbook sessions, I give away trades for free as well. If you're not in Telegram, Johnny's asking, how do we get into Telegram? Let me go find that link. I always have to go hunting for it unless Deanna has it on hand. I'm sure I can find it here in a second. Invite link, copy link. All right, here we go. David says, my name is Graham Lindman, and I have been trading for Telegram. Funny. Here you go. Here's Telegram link. Make sure you join that. Not only are you going to get invites for these sort of trainings that I do Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m., but you're also going to get some free trades as well. Again, right now we're in Carvana on a trade. It's up 37%. Gave it for free on Friday. On under a week, about 37%. And that's with the stock taking a pretty massive hit yesterday. I think it was down 7% yesterday on that sell-off. And we're still up nicely on it. So that's how powerful these elite options can be. So with that said, volatility is here to stay. So today I'm going to take what I taught you guys recently, the wrap orders, and I'm going to build off it to show you guys how to target between 150 to 300% ROI from a medium-sized move in a stock. Now, if you've been following along, you should be familiar with what I call a wrap order, or you should be familiar with the term debit spread. So right now, think if you've bought call options before, okay, you've taken step one. A debit spread is simply just buying a call option and selling another one at the same time. The reason I really like it is because it offsets time decay. I'll walk you through that step by step. But A wrap order, it's a debit spread. It's just a basic debit spread. But the reason I call it a wrap order is because we wrap the current price of a stock with two strikes. So if a stock's at $100, we're going to buy a 99 strike call and we're going to sell a 101 strike call. So we're wrapping the higher and lower, or we're wrapping the current price of a stock with a higher and lower strike, hence the name wrap order. Now, with the wrap orders, we usually get to target around 100% ROI from less than a 1% move in a stock. However, sometimes opportunities come up where we think a stock might gain more than 1% in a short period of time. And like I said, in this instance, because ATR is way up, volatility is way up, we're seeing a lot more of these 1% moves each and every day. So we can go for a little bit more juice here. So in which case, when volatility is increased, I personally apply what I call the elite options to give us a bit more upside if we do get that move. So in essence, instead of wrapping the price, we're just going to simply shift the strikes a little higher, a little further out of the money. That's going to give us greater upside in between 150 to 300% upside, depending on which options you select. I'll walk you through it today, step by step. Now, I've actually been using this technique in quite a few of my premium services, like in Lightning Trades. If you guys have been following along there, we actually had some nice winners, and our hedge came in nicely last month as well, even with the markets taking a drop. This month, we have more nice winners. I'm just looking at them in my portfolio right now. 3 of the 5 are up nicely, and hopefully we'll grow from there. So here you go, 170%, 177%, 168%, 164%. We use the elite options. Perfect Bitcoin, I've used it. 152%, 284%. I've used it in moonshots, in phase energy right there, 140%. So let me walk you through why this works so great and why it works so well right now in this opportunity, in this market environment. So in my programs, I've already covered basic options that we can use, which is just buying calls or puts, right? Calls, you win if the stock goes up, and puts, you win if a stock goes down. But that is in theory. That's not necessarily true. Most people think if you buy a call and a stock goes up, you make money. But actually, I can be wrong. The problem is when you buy calls, you have to pay for what's called time decay or theta decay. In essence, when you are buying a call option and you think a stock will go up, the problem is the longer you hold a call option, the more that time premium will lose value. So if you buy a call option and the stock is just flat, you're going to be down big on the call option, even though the stock didn't go down, right? And that's why sometimes you can be totally right about the direction of a stock and still lose money with call options. For example, here's an example trade I took on Apple, entered on September 20th. Apple gained 2.5% on the stock, but my options went down 20%, right? So I was right on the stock, options went down. How does that make me feel? Makes me feel like I'm running into a brick wall. That's not very fun, right? Being right about the stock, being right about your high conviction trade, and then losing money at the end of the day. The truth is, if you're trading a stock like Apple or any of the other popular stocks and you're holding for, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're going to need a 4 to 5% move to break even on the call options. Now, you probably won't hear this on YouTube or CNBC, but I'll tell you the truth. A lot of the times, buying calls and puts straight up stinks. And this is my opinion, but I've seen it firsthand hundreds of times in my account. In fact, you may have heard this stat before, but the CME discovered that up to 76% of options lose money, and that's due to time decay. And it can be so frustrating to be right about the direction of a stock and lose money on the options. So I hope you can see why trading basic call options can be such a losing proposition. Most of the time, options premiums are just so inflated that you need a big move in a stock just to break even. And that's because Wall Street market makers, they set these options prices based on the expected move of a stock and what it might make on any given time frame. They're selling the options to you. They don't want to be wrong. If they're wrong, they're pulling money out of their pocketbook and paying you. They want to be right more times than not, and that's why they jack these prices up, making it very hard to gain an edge in the stock market trading call options or put options. Now, typically, they give a ridiculous number, an expected move that a stock most likely won't reach. That way, Wall Street is safe and they can make a profit. Again, they're not going to go bankrupt, not on their dime. Now, this might be a little in the weeds, and frankly, you don't need to understand of everything I'm going to show you, the boring math, all of that stuff to take advantage of it. But thanks to a little known way to twist typical options trades, we're able to shoot for doubles, sometimes even triples, when a stock doesn't come anywhere close to that expected move that they've priced in. So let me walk you through an example on Chipotle to show you what I mean. Ticker CMG. Back in June, Chipotle was trading at $3,365 per share. Pretty pricey stock, right? Not gonna lie, most people are priced out of that guy. Now, the market maker set the expected move with the premium at 34.20 on Chipotle call option. So I had to make this big move for you to break even. In other words, you would have needed the stock to move $55 in 1 week just to break even on the call options. Imagine that. Imagine you buy the calls, it shoots up. I mean, it shoots up to here and you look like a genius and you still lost money. Not good. As you can see, that's a pretty big gap to fill in only a matter of a few days. But with the elite options, it's a totally different story. Instead of needing the stock to move $55 to hopefully break even and not lose any money, we only need Chipotle to gain around $15 that week to more than double our investment. So instead of needing a $55 move, we need about 1/4 of that move and we double our money. Only a fraction of the expected move. And instead of paying $4,000 per contract for the lousy call options, you can take the trade for much cheaper. That's another benefit. $280 per contract. CMG in this example, Chipotle jumped past the level needed, 150% return. Same thing with Mara. December 15th, Mara was trading at $18 a share, and the market maker set the expected move for Mara call options at $20. Now that's a 237 difference, like $2. That doesn't sound like much. It sounds pretty easy for a stock to skip by for that. But if you run the numbers, that means Mara would have needed to gain 12.9% on the stock just for the options to break even. A 12% move on a stock to break even on calls, that's not a good deal. Now, 12% in a few weeks is a pretty ridiculous ask if you ask me. But with the elite options, you only need the stock to move 71 cents to target more than a double. So instead of needing a 273 move or 237, whatever it was, 71 cents, about a quarter of the move, and you can more than double your money. Well, that's what this slide says. 1/4 the expected move. And in this instance, Mara made it to that level, and the elite options paid 163%. Now, before I teach you how to select the elite options on your own, plus walk through the calculator and place some live trades with you today, let me first teach you when you should apply elite options instead of the wrap order. And David had a good point here in the chat. CMG, that was before they did have their stock split. I think it was a 10-for-1 split. What was it? Was it 20-for-1? 50-for-1, even better. So it's much cheaper now, but there's plenty of expensive stocks like that right now. Like if you look at I think AutoZone, yeah, 3,700. Plenty of stocks in the $3,000 range. So when do you want to apply elite options? When do you want to use the wrap order? When do you want to use calls? Let's talk about it. The elite options you want to use when your underlying strategy looks for outsized momentum moves. And this is an important note. Elite options are not a strategy. They're what you apply to a strategy. So a strategy is your underlying system or strategy that looks for market making move or stocks to move higher or lower, right? So say you're trading with Bollinger Bands. Your strategy is you buy when it hits the lower Bollinger Band, or you're trading with Newton. You buy when it turns green, right? That's your underlying strategy. Elite options are not a strategy. Now, when the Newton momentum indicator turns green, you could buy a call option or you could apply a different set. You could apply the elite options. So the elite options are good when your underlying strategy calls for an outsized move in a stock. If you don't think it's going to move greater than 1%, probably use a wrap order. But if you think it's going to move 1% or more over the time period selected, apply the elite options. They're great for trading volatile assets and earnings events in just volatile periods of time, like right now. We're seeing that right now, a lot of volatility in the markets. So how do you go about the option selection process? Well, it's very similar to purchasing calls, right? It's not that much different. You're buying a call and then you're just selling a call with it. It's not that hard, guys. So instead of just buying a call and paying for all the time decay, you're going to pair it with two calls. So you're going to buy one call and sell one call. And by doing so, you're able to offset most of that time decay risk, right? That we just talked about. You can offset that time decay risk and keep a lot of the upside. So in the elite trade, we are buying a call 1 to 2 strikes in the money or at the money and simultaneously selling a call 3 to 4 strikes out of the money. Now, just really quickly to walk you through this, if you guys are more advanced in options, basically we're going to buy the safer call and we're going to sell the riskier call. The call that's more like a lottery ticket, the one we're selling. So that's what's going to offset our time decay and keep our risk to reward very high. Typically, that gives us an upside between 150 to 300% on any given week, depending on your option selection. So for example, if Nvidia's at $100, you might buy the 99 weekly call and sell the 103 weekly call, right? So you're going to buy one strike in the money or at the money and sell one 3 to 4 strikes out of the money. We can take the max profit if the stock finishes above the higher strike price. So our max profit is going to be if Nvidia finishes above 103. Now, if it finishes somewhere in the middle, I'll talk about that as well. But if Nvidia falls below 99 by the end of the week, if we're wrong on our trade, we take a full loss, just like call buyers would, and it automatically expires for us. We don't need to worry about getting exercised or anything like that. So that's another really nice thing about these elite options. If Nvidia stays flat at $100 by the end of the week, you might take a small loss, maybe 33%, while call buyers would take a much bigger loss. It beats trading calls again, even if it's flat. If Nvidia moves a buck, in this example, if it moves 1% by the end of the week, you would take about a 50% gain actually, while call buyers would take roughly a 50% loss. So again, you are right on the direction. It didn't make as big of a move as you thought, only 1% move, but you ended up making money. 50% ROI, nothing to complain about. Meanwhile, the people trading basic calls, the people who are stuck in level one, not willing to take the next step to go to debit spreads, they lost money. Don't be that guy. What if Nvidia goes up 2% that week to 102? Well, you take about 125% gain while call buyers again take a loss. So again, don't be this guy. Why would you want to take a 20% loss when the stock gains 2%? Doesn't make any sense. Trade the elite options, much better gain. What if Nvidia goes above to 103 by the end of the week? We're right, we take our max gain. Call buyers probably take a small gain. And then let's say Nvidia goes parabolic, it goes way above it. We would still cap out at that. This is just theoretical, but we'd cap out at about a 200% gain, while call buyers can take an unlimited gain. But unlimited sounds really cool, but you need at least a 5% move on Nvidia options right now. A 5% move to double your investment. You need an 8% move in a week on Nvidia options to beat this gain. So instead of here, we need a 3% move to get 200%. If you're trading call options, you need an 8% move to get 200%. Let me ask in the chat really quick. What is easier to get, a 3% move or an 8% move? It's not a trick question. Post your answer in the chat. 3, 3, 3. Exactly. It's not rocket science, right? He says, duh. That's right. So that's why I like trading this style versus trading basic call options. I don't want to have to get an 8% move to hit these huge wins. I want to get those huge wins off smaller moves. So why would I use the elite trade versus a wrap order? Well, elite trade is going to give us bigger upside on the trades. Wrap orders are going to be safer. They're going to give you a higher win rate. Now, over time, when trading volatile stocks like Nvidia or Palantir or any of these more high fluctuating stocks, the elite trade ended up generating bigger winners, bigger profitability over time. Now, it wasn't a higher win rate, but because the returns are bigger when you're right, we had the opportunity to make more money over time. Same could be said about other chip stocks, Bitcoin, other high alpha stocks. Or even another exception is like moments right now where volatility is just increased. You're going to see more of these big moves every day. Carvana, we saw it up 10% the other day and then down 7% the next day. These big moves are prime for these elite trades. Now, with the elite trade, we are buying a call 1 to 2 strikes in the money and simultaneously selling a call 3 to 4 strikes out of the money. Uh, Greg says, define a high volatile stock, 5 plus ATR. Greg, it just depends on the price of a stock. So the S&P's $500, let's say, and it's at 5 ATR. That means it's at 1% ATR because 5 over 500, 1%. So I'd look for 1% plus on the ATR for a high volatile stock. So if it's a $100 stock, you want the ATR to be $1 or more, if that makes sense. So when you're doing the elite trade, remember, buy a call, 1 strike in the money, and sell 3 to 4 strikes out of the money. Now, the closer to expiration, so the shorter you make that expiration, the more profit potential you'll get. However, the faster the stock needs to get to your target. Now, let's go through some live market examples, and let's use the calculator as our guide, and then we'll compare it to basic call options as well. And I left this open. We're going to go find some trade examples together, and I'll give you guys some different tips and tricks along the way as well. So here, let's see what Carvana is doing today, actually. We can maybe do it again. It's bouncing today. So let's look at Carvana, for example. So remember I said you want about a 1% ATR stock, Greg? So here we go. Check this out. Carvana, look, it was way down here, but now we got this insane volatility. It's got we'll call it a $15 ATR. We'll say the stock's $200. So we want, typically, we'd want a stock that has an ATR of, 2 or 3 or 4 here. But we've got one at $15. So $15 average move, 206 stock. That's a 7% ATR. This is a very, very good one for an elite trade. So I like Carvana right now. I've got an open position on it. But let's say you missed it. So let's go ahead and go to the trade tab. Again, what we're going to do, I'm going to pick next week's expiration. Just because we only have one more day until tomorrow. And then let me go ahead and open up the calculator. This is in all of your members portals, guys. If you guys have any of the memberships, this is in each and every one of the members portals. Oh, shoot. Click the wrong thing. There we go. Ooh, yeah, the new members portal update looks nice. Here's exotics. You scroll down here to calculators, right? Looks very nice. I'm going to click here the elite trade calculator, and we can punch our information in here once it loads for me. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up the prices, and then we'll walk through it together. ATR stands for average true range. So in this case, we're looking at Carvana. The average range over the last 14 days, on average, it moves about $16 a day. So we know that Carvana is a highly volatile stock. Let's say in this instance, I think it's going higher. We're going to buy one call in the money, sell a few strikes out. So this one's priced in pretty good because the market makers are on top of it. So I'm just flipping through this, trying to find a good example really quick. Let's see. I'm just typing this in my calculator, make sure I give you the right numbers. They've got these jacked up. They know that Carvana moves fast. Oh, markets must be heating up right now. Yep, they are. I told you. Carvana started the day way down, heating up now. All right. So I had to go a little bit further out of the money than usual here, but let me walk you through this. So right now, if you want to trade Carvana, I'm going to open up my notepad so I can type this up for you guys. An elite option example. Carvana. We're going to buy the 4th of April, 25, 210 call. We're going to sell. This stock is moving fast right now, so we're going to have to get this in quick. Sell the 220 call. Currently, 395 debit. Let me post this in the chat, and I'll walk you through what that means. So here's a trade. 395 debit. I'll send it here in a second once you guys all get it. So I took it to my calculator here. Again, we're buying the 210 call, selling the 220 call. Let's just say I do one contract. It's at 395. Once you punch those 4 things in, it'll do all the math for you. You're risking $395 to make a $605 profit. That's 153% return if Carvana makes it above 220 by the end of the next week. Remember, the stock is a 16 ATR. So that means $16 move from here is 224. So it would not be out of the ordinary for Carvana to be well above 220 over the next week. So I'll go ahead and set this off there. See if we get filled. This thing is like a rocket right now, unfortunately, since I just typed that in, unfortunately or fortunate. So look, 220 might sound ridiculous. It only needs to it was at 220 yesterday. So if it closes above 220 by this time next week, you make 153%. Let's say you want to go a little bit riskier. Let's say you want to really risk it for the biscuit here. You think Carvana's about to pop. Let's go. Let's make it crazy. Man. You can just slide it further out of the money. So if you wanted to say Carvana is going to go above 230, which that's going to be a little bit riskier. That's probably a little bit out of my risk appetite, but it's not out of the equation. But you can just slide your options further out of the money. Right now, that's at a 433 debit. So again, I'll just type it in here, what I just selected, just to show you how the calculators work. I'm not going to take this trade. I took the other one. But here you can go for 245% return. Now, let's say you took the basic call option here, right? It's at, we'll call it $10, 980, 985. That means Carvana needs to get to 218 by this time next week to break even. So remember, the elite trade, we need it. There you go. Phil, oh, that was my I took Nate's overnight option. There you go. Nice hit there. With the elite option, I needed to get to 220 to earn 150%. With the basic calls, you need to get pretty much there to break even. Do you guys see the difference of why it's so much better to trade these elite options? So there you go. You have that one in the chat. I'll post this here too. So our team has it. Any questions so far before I keep moving? Does everyone understand how this works? What is the difference with the wrap, just the spread? I'm not sure what you're asking, Jackie. This is same sort of setup. It's a debit spread. I'm just shifting it out of the money. So we'll need a little bit bigger move, but we get a little bit better payday. So again, the key number here is we need it to close above 220 to make our bacon, the full max profit, but we don't need it above 220 to break even. Let me punch these numbers back in. So it does, the calculator does all the work for you. You don't even, 213 will break you even. Versus remember, we needed the calls to be at 218 to break even. Do you have to close it if it's in the money? On expiration day, you don't. It'll automatically offset on both sides. Wow, Carvana's up 2.5% now. How do you determine the high potential strike? Great question. So Daphne, remember, I said ATR. Oh, I can't get this to move. Remember, I said that the ATR was 16, 17, 16, somewhere in that range. So I typically want to be just shy of that. So if I add 16 to this number, that gives me 225. So that's why I slid in at 220 as my sold call, because it's within that ATR range. Does that make sense? Is the difference between a wrap and elite is how much out of the money the sell is? Yes, pretty much, Jackie. So again, when you're selling the option you're selling, you want to just slide right under the ATR. So $16 ATR, that puts us at 225. I sold at 220, so we're in the safety zone there. All right, let me keep this party moving. Did I get filled? No, I don't think I got filled because Carvana's on rocket shipping right now. So right now it's at 420 debit. So if you wanted to adjust it, it's 138% potential ROI. That's the current price of the spread. I'm just going to let it sit at 395. Again, I already have 4 on from last Friday. If you're in Telegram, hopefully you got in on that action as well. Currently up 45% on that. All right. So there we go. Carvana moved up a little bit. Tim, I'm active in exotics and hot sheets, but calculators say content is blocked. So here's mine in exotics. It doesn't show blocked for me. Maybe give us a call, Tim. They can walk you through it. So if you want to be even more aggressive and go for bigger upside, you can just you can simply shift your strikes even higher out of the money, like I showed you there on Carvana. Just shift them higher. Further you go out, the better the ROI potential, but the more risk, right? The less likely it's going to work out. That's why I like to slide in right under the ATR. Stacy, I know. I agree. Or another alternative is to tighten up the expiration dates. So I'm not going to place this trade here. But if I wanted to get a better ROI potential, I could go to tomorrow's expiration for Carvana. And then let me just see what this looks like. It might be all jacked up in price. Look at the IV, implied volatility, over 100% right now. That's crazy. So if I wanted to shorten the expiration, tomorrow's expiration, let me just punch this in here. Let We don't need as big as a move. We're going to buy the 210, sell the 215. It's currently at 189. So here, if Carvana closes above 215 tomorrow, you can get 165% ROI. Maybe I will do this. You guys want me to type this one up? So if Carvana, do you see this? If it gets above here tomorrow, 165% ROI. Let's look at the calls. If you bought the basic calls, if it got to 115, you break even. For me, if it gets to 118 or 115, I make 165%. How would you get out of the trade? You would just go here and close it. So you could flip it, or like, let's say, let me just make sure I don't want to give away all my paid subscription trades here. So let's say here are some of the trades we took this week. Here's my Carvana one. For me, if I want to trade, if I want to sell it, I just right click and create closing order by selling it. So hopefully that makes sense. But let's say I want to do tomorrow's expiration. I'll type this up for you guys. Again, you need it to move. It's pretty binary here. You need to move tomorrow. Not a lot of wiggle room here, not a lot of time. But you're going to get a better payout. So right now you could buy the 210, sell the 215. It's currently trading at $2. Man, Carvana's really on the move. $2 debit. Let me just go ahead and place this. So now if Carvana, I'll update this one. If it gains a couple bucks from here, which is well within the ATR, what's Carvana at? So if it gains $5 from here, about, what is that, a 2% move tomorrow? Even less than it's moving already today. You can make 150% ROI. So I'll place this trade. The thing is moving like crazy right now. The stock's up like 1.5% since I pulled it up just a few minutes ago. Look at the SPY. I told you guys this looked like the buyers were stepping in. Right when I logged on, I said, look at this V shape. This is a very sharp V right now. Buyers are coming. This is looking good. I told you guys on Tuesday, if we get positive GDP, I would expect the buyers to step in. They didn't at first. Kind of scared me, but here we are. Buyers are stepping in today. So I set that trade on Carvana. Where if Carvana, which is a very volatile stock, gains about 2% tomorrow, I can make 150% return on investment. So to quickly recap here, why the elite trade versus the wrap orders? Well, the elite trade is going to give us bigger upside. I just got filled on something. Let's see. Carvana just filled for me that trade expiring tomorrow. Elite trade is going to give you bigger weekly upside, right? So you can get these large returns versus wrap orders are going to be safer. They're going to give you a higher win rate, right? So that's the trade-off here. If you want to go for those bigger returns, again, typically you want to stick to high volatile stocks for those bigger returns, or the wrap or the elite trade. It's a good one to use. Just shifting your debit spread out of the money. If you want to go for a safer trade, higher win rate, maybe a less volatile stock like Progressive, great stock. I love to trade it, but it doesn't move 5% a day typically. Hopefully not. That's where wrap orders are better to use. Here we go. So again, use the elite options when your underlying strategy. Remember, this is not a strategy. This is just how to apply options to a certain strategy set. So if your underlying strategy looks for big outsized momentum moves, elite options are a good choice. Another key filter here. If you expect a greater than 1% move over the time period selected, right, the elite options are a great choice. If you think it's less than 1% move, maybe use the wrap order. Again, if you're trading volatile assets or earnings events, use the elite trades. So again, you're going to buy one strike in the money, maybe at the money, and simultaneously sell a call a few strikes out of the money. If you want to get more aggressive, go for even bigger upside, just simply shift your strikes even higher out of the money or shorten up the time until expiration. Now, we didn't have time to cover it today, but you can also do this for puts. It's the same principle, just a put debit spread just out of the money. You shift it lower for higher risk to reward. Let me read the chats here, and then I'm going to have Chris jump in here too and give us his take on the markets, what's he's seeing right now as well. And that, how hard is it for you to give notice to close trades? I'm still having trouble with this. And all of the services, all the paid services and that, I do give you guys entry and exits. The max profit would only happen at expiration, would it not? That is correct. So if you close out before expiration, you can get close to max profit, but you're not going to get the max profit. The reason that no one's going to pay you something for zero upside on their end. You can also set a good to canceled, a GTC exit order. Nate does this a lot. I know Chris does this a lot, where you basically say, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't want that 150% return on Carvana, but I'd be cool with 100%. So I can set a good to cancel exit order, in this case at $4 on Carvana's options. And the stock doesn't have to close above 215 at some point in the day. If it's at 214, 214.50, it'll probably hit that $4 net debit, cash out automatically, and then you don't have to worry about where it ends the day at. Mary, I'm going to build a free scanner code for you guys next week. So stay tuned. Make sure to come back next Thursday at 10 a.m. I will build that scanner out for you guys there and share it for free. GTC, that's good till canceled. So the order will just stay open until you cancel it, and you would set it as a limit. Awesome. Well, Chris, I see you're here in the room in the house. I'm going to turn it over to you. I walked everyone through, obviously, no shocker that we're seeing a lot of volatility right now. I'm more of a swing term trader. I'm a longer term investor myself. I know that you've been in the nitty gritty, in and out between days and hitting with an incredible win rate. So I wanted to bring you on here and walk folks through what you've been doing.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. The last, obviously month and a half when the market's been all over the place, we managed to grab 33 winners out of 34 trades. That's a sweet little streak. My other, couple of my services doing really, really well through all this stuff. And honestly, price has been volatile, yes, but cooperative. I mean, I know we talked offline and we had the roundtable on where prices have been going. We had this little correction yesterday. I mean, I don't know what your take is on today's price action, but it's kind of nice to see that we did fill that Monday to Friday gap, and we're bouncing off of that. So at least shows like the bulls are using that as support today. So if the bulls are still alive and well, today's actually a pretty good showing for that. GDP numbers are okay. Unemployment claims, nothing that stood out. We have core PCE tomorrow. But if the bulls get the upper hand today and just keep kind of drifting prices higher, shows like we're trying to finish the quarter on at least a fight back. And then of course everyone's wondering like what's going to happen next week with tariffs.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I will say this, Graham. I did a YouTube session yesterday and I just called it the Trump pain trade. I think for Trump to get what he wants, I think the administration is going to work pretty hard to force the Fed's hand to cut rates.
You think so?
In order to do that, we need to see probably some nasty lows in this market. My kitchen sink economy would be going back to like the late 90s, like 90, I think 97 or 98. The market tanked like over 20% and then ripped like 25 to 30% at the end of the year. So it could be one of those wild and crazy roller coaster years where maybe the first half is that play, and then the second half is, I mean, if you were offered the S&P on sale at 20%, would you take it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So would I. So and I know that's not going to be fun, but it's a strategy like I'll be talking about here that's what I'm going to navigate. It's like I don't need to worry about that. I just trade the day. I've got a lot of new members in the class. It's a trade that is very systematic, very mechanical. We let the basically market makers do the job every single day, and we trade right on their coattails, and it usually works out in our favor. So we've got a nice little win streak. We've had over 200 alerts in the service live, and we're still batting over 90%. So it's been fantastic for the live trades.
That is awesome. Well, guys, let me ask you guys here in the chat, how many of you guys have worked with Chris before in the past? Give me a yes or a no. Just curious. You've been killing it, Chris. What is your recent win rate at? It's like what? Something crazy.
Well, we have 33 out of 34. The last little streak for I mean, this like downturn and everything, we still managed to get 33 out of 34 over the last month.
So here's the next question for you guys in the chat. Who would like to have been 33 out of 34 over the last month? Pretty much everyone, I would guess.
Yep.
Unless there's one unreasonable person who wants that 34 out of 34.
I know. I was wondering. It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
Yeah. 33 out of 34. No one can complain about that. Well, Chris, go ahead and take it away. Walk us through what you're doing here, the options you're selecting, and how you're able to hit with such a high win rate.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Graham. All right, everybody. I'm just going to go in through the prezo that I prepared. I've done this webinar a bunch of times. So let's dive into it. Basically, what this is I call this a daily profit play. And this is something I do every single day, right around market open. Usually I'm in these trades for about 60 to 90 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes more. I give the levels a chance to work out for the day. I let market makers do their job. Most of the time the market doesn't move. I mean, the market is usually a grind fest, and there's ways where the market will go nowhere for the morning and it just kind of churns. That's easy for the strategy. There's sometimes the market will go down immediately, then come back up, and then go up immediately, come back down, or just slowly grinds one way or the other. We give ourselves like basically 4 out of 5 ways to make money. The only way this trade doesn't work is if it goes directionally for the day and stays directionally for the day, which, as most of you know, that's very rare. Right. So anyway, we've had a hot little win streak this last month. And given what the market's been throwing at us, I think that feels pretty darn good to know that what happened yesterday doesn't matter. What happens tomorrow doesn't matter. What happens is I want to trade today and try to grab some profits. So that's what this is all about. As usual, there's disclaimers. Profits performance shown are not typical. We make no futures earnings claims. I take these trades live with my own accounts. So I do have losses. I've taken a few losses along the way, but we have a lot of wins to show for it. And it's a very profitable service. The trades expressed are from historical back tests from June of 2022 when Zero DT started. And I traded hundreds and hundreds of live trades on my own until I was really comfortable with this strategy. This has also been a core strategy of mine that I used to take out for like 40, 50, and 60 days. And once the Zero DT stuff started, I tried to look at some of my strategies I could compress down to like a short-term environment. And so I've been trading this thing live since summer 2024, in addition to like dabbling and kind of going in the Zero DT environment. But from June of 2024 to now March, I mean, we're presently trading this. I traded this live this morning. The average win rate was about 21% on the average winners and the average losers. So I did take a couple trades where we had like a slightly bigger loss. Like for example, I threw in a butterfly spread, which isn't the core strategy, and I took on a loss that was greater than what I wanted, but it is what it is. We're still managing about an 89% win rate. To make money in this service, I need to maintain about an 80 to 81% win rate. So we're averaging 89%. That's edge, right? I mean, I'm already in like 200 plus alerts for the service. We're gonna take 1,000 plus trades together over just a couple of years. So having like an 89% win rate, 90% win rate, 90+% win rate, that's the edge that I need to make money. Every daily profit we're going to talk about today in the examples, it's about $1,000 of risk. That's just for an example. I can show you how you can risk as little as $300, as little as maybe $300 to $700. I will talk about that actually tomorrow in class. I do this class every single day. You're targeting income every single day. Okay. So I can't guarantee specific future results. I know there's always risk in trading. You know that too. You sign up for the disclaimers. You're a trader. You get the deal. But if you want to see more information, we have it on our Prosperity Pub homepage. Okay. So welcome to this briefing. This to me is, everyone talks markets and how it's so exciting. And honestly, it's I don't like exciting markets. I like boring markets, and I like what the stock market does almost every single day, which gives me a high degree of accuracy. And I know that the last couple of months have been pretty rough. I'm hoping Gramps is having a great year as well. But just this little pullback we've seen in the markets, like this pullback about 10% in the S&P and now up a couple percent. This little pullback to the upside has allowed me to hit all-time highs in my portfolio again for the year. So the market was down 10+%. I'm still up 8% for my accounts. So for most investors, they're watching this drawdown and it's exposing them to like too much risk and they're too concentrated and there's too much direction in their portfolio. And so most people are kind of struggling figuring out like what's next. But most probably look like, you just sit in red, you got a bunch of red, or you have some winners and losses. It's just been back and forth chop. But for what I do every single day with my daily profit play group, this is what we have. Lots and lots of winners. And I will say that loser was actually a hedge on the day. I pulled in $1.20 credit on the day, and I was willing to say, okay, look, I'm going to sacrifice 50 cents on that hedge in case I go the wrong way. And so I sacrificed the 50 cents. I still finished that day positive. So that 33 out of 34, it technically was all in the same trade. Like I knew I was going to finish positive on the day one way or the other. But it was, I thought, a necessary trade and necessary risk to maybe hedge myself in case the market didn't cooperate. But anyway, 33 out of 34 looks pretty good given the market environment. I think we got a lot of happy traders in the service. I certainly am. Anyway, so that just needs to be updated 33 for 34. My top students, I've got traders in every single day. I take the same trade. They take it with me live. I've got hundreds of traders in every single day. And once you learn the process, I have traders like I just had one of my traders, Dave, that just mentioned he since the 19th, which is last week, he's like 9 for 9 with this service. I've got Randy that just messaged me a couple weeks ago. He's closed out his 100th winning trade, averaging over 90%. on his winners. His win rate is 90+%. He closed out his 100th winning trade. I've got some traders that take this. I've got Mark in my member group that's taking anywhere between 2, 3, 5 trades a day and winning most of the time, and he's making anywhere between like 500 to $1,000 a day. Anyway, so the students are very happy, and obviously, I run a good service, and I'm happy. I make money. It's my live accounts and live trading as well. So if I can make money in the market, so can you. Right. So here's Lynn. When Lynn started with me, she had about a $4,000 account. She has been crushing it. Lynn has taken, I've got a slide on this about the growth opportunities for this type of service. Lynn has taken that pretty much and become like the poster child for like a growth plan, a $4,000 account that's now close to 20 grand. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what's happening here with these winning trades, I'll fill you in. I've known Nate now for 5+ years. Nate and I reconnected this past summer when I knew I was interested in joining Prosperity Pub and coming to the team. And I was sharing with Nate, look, I'm leaving this hedge fund, going back to just my private fund, and I've been in the education space for over a decade. I like talking to members. I like teaching traders. This has been a trade that's been working for me. Let me show you. So I showed Nate, like, this isn't just some crazy penny stock. It's not an AI stock picker. This is something I do every single day when the market opens, and I'm looking at a daily profit play. Can I target, $20 a day, $50 a day, $100 a day? So like I said, about $1,000 risk in order to make about $1,000 a day. That's typically how this works. This works in high volatility environments and low volatility environments. And you'll see that as we talk through the mechanics today. And usually within about 60 to 90 minutes, this trade is done. Right. Nate took the trade with me. We did just a live session together, and Nate walked through, and it took about 30 minutes or less to make $655. Now, Nate was taking, I think, 10 contracts for the day. But like you said here, one of the easiest $655 I've ever made, especially with the week, considering everything else has been going, all over the place and crashing and burning. So Nate was happy. I was happy. And I just said, yeah, this is what I do every single day. But the best part is you don't have to predict anything. If anybody is confused right now, it's probably every investor's like, where is this market going to go? Are we going to get to all-time highs again? Or are we going to crash? I did a YouTube session yesterday. I think this market is, and just like it said to Graham, I think this market may be seeing more pain because so many downside movements are not priced in yet. If Trump is going to force earnings compression, as Trump is going to force all these forecasts to be revised lower, that hasn't been priced in the market. If Trump is going to force the hands of the Fed to be cutting rates, it's not at the lows at a 10% pullback. If the Fed's going to step in, remember, they are an emergency backstop. So they would only step in at probably the pain trade of like 15 to 20 to 25%. These markets fall, and they fall fast. Then we're talking the Fed's hand's going to be forced to maybe cut rates. So, but again, I don't have to know that. I don't have to predict anything. I can approach the market today, and that's all that matters. I trade today, I win today. I trade today, I lose today. But 9 out of 10 trades, I'm winning. That feels pretty good. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So the market could go higher, lower, flat for the day. Doesn't matter. We still have a daily profit play opportunity. I take this trade usually right around 9:35. I just let the market open, make sure it's not scrambling with any crazy direction. And it is kind of a set and forget trade. I'm in 2 trades right now. I'm still running with them, and I'm gonna let them work out, and I'll keep an eye on them for the day. But it's just light management. My broker already has to take profit. So I set the daily profit play up around 9:35, and this slide's for Nate because usually he's hitting the tee box around 10:30. I don't know what the weather's like in Pennsylvania right now, but maybe he's seeing some early golf season. But there's $105 in your account. Okay, the next day, June 25th. This is a look back from last year. Spend a day with the kids. If you're trading for fun, if you're trading to supplement your income, if you're trading because you're retired, I think this is a skill set that nobody can take away from you. But enjoy your time. $129 achieved. Next day, do it again, similar to how I set it up. We talk about this trade every single day, $120 that morning. Okay. Thursday, same thing, opportunity at again, whatever you want to do, $100 in your account. Friday, same thing. My favorite part is closing this trade out on Friday and then kind of having the weekend start early. That's always a good thing, knowing I've got profit in. I don't have to sit, force any trades. I don't have to sit and watch the market all the way to closing bell and kick off the weekend early. There's another $120. So just taking the standard risk, and I say standard for this presentation. I'll talk to you about it tomorrow in class if you want to join me. We can take this trade for as little as like $300 to $400 in buying power, and maybe $300 to $400 in max risk. I can also have this trade be as little as maybe $100 to $200 in max risk as well. But it all adds up very nicely. For that standard $1,000 risk, you're making $574 in extra income that week. Feels pretty good. What I love about the strategy is it is very scalable. We're trading super liquid instruments. You can take multiple contracts if you want to. So for somebody taking more risk than $1,000, how about $5,000? That same trade, same mechanics every single day is generating now almost $3,000 in the same week versus 574, right? So you can keep scaling this up, but let's forget about the instant profits. Let's forget about, risking money that you cannot afford to lose. I mean, I don't know how many traders are going to come out swinging with $5,000 risk on a strategy they just see for the first time. So let's just talk about the process, right? This isn't a get rich quick method. This isn't an all in a single trade. This isn't a YOLO. This is a financial success path that gets us there steady, steady, steady. This is the tortoise and the hare. We are the tortoise. Happens bit by bit. Green market days, red market days, doesn't really matter. I'm just looking to see what the market can give us and offer us every single day. This $100 challenge that I'm showing you is a blueprint that's designed for this day in, day out process. Okay. I think this makes trading way more systematic, way more mechanical, and way, way less stressful. So if you like the idea of the $100 challenge, if you want to come in and see what it's all about, sounds a little bit interesting to you, then just stick around for the next maybe 30 to 45 minutes with me, because you can all join me tomorrow. I do this thing live every single day. Okay. And this gives everyone a chance to follow along for the very own challenge as I do it with live money every single day. You can copy and paste my trades if you're interested, see me trade it live, and it's scalable. You can take multiple contracts. You can go after several hundreds of dollars a day. A lot of traders that I have in my services are interested in going after this like $100, but they do it multiple times a day. And I've got traders making anywhere between, 200, 500, $1,000+ a day. There's risk in all these trades. So don't think this is just some guaranteed thing, but we have a very, very high strike rate, and you'll see how this thing works over and over again. So as Graham said, this is me. I think most of you know me. Hopefully you do by now. But I've been, financial education for over a decade. I've been trading for over 25 years, and I've seen a lot. I traded through a lot. I manage a private fund. I trade everything. Everything I think of making money, I trade it. So I say that, but I don't bet. Like sports betting, I don't bet. March Madness, I haven't watched a single game so far for the first time. I canceled UTPV when they jacked the prices up to $90 a month. So anyway, point is, I trade indexes, I trade stocks, I trade futures, I trade forex, I trade crypto, and I trade options on everything. Options, I think, is the best tool in the world to trade. I think it is the fairest asset for us as retail traders to trade. It's your risk and reward up front. You can have defined risk. There's only the market could go to infinity or go to zero, and we're only risking what we initially put on the trades. That's what I love about trading options. Now, I'm looking for new members to join the service, new challengers come into this brand new initiative, and we can target the daily income you're looking for each and every day. Now, in my opinion, the timing of this couldn't be any better, because I think most traders are so confused with what's going to happen. Nobody knows how, good or bad the market's going to be, but we do know this: since 2020, things have been different. K-shaped economy, those that have more, those that have not have less. And it's been struggling. I mean, groceries, yeah, Trump can brag about egg prices, but it's because we just bought a ton of eggs. Taking on debt to get their kids back to school, taking on credit card debt, housing market. We have basically a supply glut right now, where there are as many houses for sale, or close to as many houses for sale now as there was back in 2007, 2008, during a real estate crisis that was about to happen. So I just think for the markets, I don't need to know what happens tomorrow or next month or next year. I need to know what happens today, right? And all I have to do is trade what the market makers do every single day. And you can see this unfold tomorrow in the very next session. So we're going to target the daily income regardless. It doesn't really matter where the market ends up going. If it goes up, down, sideways, we can still make money. You'll see me trade this live in my broker account, and you can copy and paste, follow along. I explicitly mentioned multiple times. I put it, in my broker platform, put it in Telegram, put it in the live chat. I do it every single day. It's in the trade tracker as well. Okay. So I think it's a very practical strategy. And this is something I see a lot of traders take it and run with it, and they make it their own, and they love a strategy like this. So as you can see, lots of happy members, lots of happy members. So if you're interested in some daily income, maybe it's a good service for you to join. And once you're comfortable with it, then you can scale it. This is the most important thing: is learn the process, get comfortable with it, understand the risk and reward, and then trade it. Okay. So just a couple clicks. I mean, I can get in this trade with probably less than 10, 15 seconds of my time. And then I just set the take profit, and I'm done for the day. Like, it's not that hard. Each targeting, if you're taking about $1,000 risk, we're looking at about $100, $250 a day. And we're batting about 90%. Okay. And I think I'm rolling this out at a good time because, as we know, things are a little bit more difficult. I don't think Trump's going to save us. I don't think the government's going to save us. I think as a trader and investor, the best way to get ahead is have a skill set like trading and investing that you can time this market a little bit if you're interested in the big picture, or stay long-term oriented in the big picture. But as far as trading and income, I'm in the trenches every single day with this strategy. If I had $1 million invested going after the average 7% return, that's barely enough just to get by. And on top of that, if I'm looking at a 7% return, I probably need to take on about a 10, 13 to 15% drawdown at any time in a given year. That doesn't feel very good for those, passive buy and hold investors watching the markets go, sometimes up 10%, sometimes down 20%. And you're just like, nope, just stay in, just long term. It's exhausting, So, and that's what most people, most investors aren't sitting with $1 million in their account. So I know a lot of people are trying to fill the cash gap. I get it. Most people are, still working longer. Most people are pushing back the retirements. Most people are picking up side hustles and gigs. But daily profit play, this is my side hustle. This is my gig. This is my trading strategy that helps me make an extra. I mean, realistically, for my accounts, if I can make an extra 3 to 5% a year on this for my portfolio, beautiful. I'll juice my portfolio with something I can trade every single day. If I want to be more aggressive and make this my exclusive strategy, well, yeah, I'm going to try to make 10, 15, 20% a year. I can do this, and I don't have to be anything but directionally neutral. All right. This is any regular brokerage account in the world. You can trade this with any stock account, permission to trade options, and you can take this all over. I've got traders in Asia, in New Zealand, Australia, in Europe, Canada, all over the US in different time zones. Like, everyone shows up and we take the trades. So if you'd like to participate in the daily profit play, here's what we need to have. If you're new to trading, hopefully you're just paper trading, right? If you're new to trading, you're trading very small. Just learning the process, learning how to navigate your broker platform, either your computer or your access to your app. I mean, most brokers now have apps you can trade on. Willing to trade options, permission to trade options. This is an option-based strategy, and it requires about 5 to 10 minutes a day. No big deal. It's very straightforward, okay? And if you want to see how straightforward it is, join me live tomorrow. You can scale it up to a dollar amount that you're comfortable with. We'll talk about it all in class. And I do this pretty much every single day, right? We go back into this is last summer when the market peaked out. So July to August, we had about a 10% correction. Markets are gapping lower. Markets are all over the place. What's happened? Oh, the Bank of Japan is deleveraging. Oh, the market's been over leveraged. So BOJ is raising rates, and all of a sudden we have this like volatility event in one of the biggest single VIX days the market's ever seen. Good luck, right? I mean, the market tops over. Everyone that's long is getting crushed. Everyone that's holding is wondering how bad the drawdown is going to get. Daily profit, how do we do? I mean, the market fell. We made money. The month of July was profitable. The month of August was profitable. Didn't really matter, right? So rather than being long and losing all your investments, and rather than being long on call options, losing everything you put into it, you just trade daily profit play. You got 3 out of 4 winners for $400. Okay. So I'm really, happy with a strategy like this when it just performs in all sorts of market conditions: high volatility, low volatility, choppy, crappy markets, crazy, all over the place markets where we got these big 1% and 2% swings. I mean, I don't control that. Whether we have a lower high volatility environment, I don't control that. Whether the market goes up or down for the day, I don't control that. So if we're still making money in all these ugly, wild conditions, I think that's a pretty robust strategy, right? And so even through the market chaos, July we still survived. August we did even better, even with all the terrible news, right? The SOM rule was activated August 2nd. We had the Bank of Japan deleveraging over the weekend. August 5th was a crazy low, and the market flushed down, a ton of points, but then started ripping back. We hit highs by September. We barely had a September effect last year. And while a ton of people are trying to predict what the market's going to do, it doesn't matter. Just trade the day. I don't have to predict anything. I can ignore all the headlines, all the noise. Trump, irrelevant. Trump administration, Doge, irrelevant. Fed, irrelevant. What the U.S. is going to be, irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Like, if Tesla's going to drop 60%, who cares? I'm trading an index. It's going to go up or down maybe a quarter to 1% for the day, maybe 1.5%, 2% for the day. It doesn't matter. I just trade it. Okay. Everything is very efficient in the options market. August 12th, just an example. Take the trade in the morning. By 10 o'clock, you've got the market actually going negative for the entire day, but it didn't matter because within about 60 minutes, you're up $150. Tuesday, same thing, $180. Okay. And the market can do a lot for the day or nothing for the day. We can still have a chance to make some money. So fresh $150 there. Here's Thursday, $135. And again, you don't need the market to go anywhere. Same daily profit play over and over and over. In fact, Friday hit $250. So a nice 5 for 5 week. Like I said, we're on a nice little win streak now, 33 out of 34. That feels pretty darn good considering what the market's been giving us the last month or so. And that's why I'm proud of weeks like that. I'm proud of what we've been doing these last 3-4 weeks in trading. It just shows how good the strategy really is. 5 for 5, nice little income. It works, and these are real trades and real market conditions. So $765 on, a daily profit play feels pretty good. Boost the bottom line. You start pulling in $500 a week, $1,000 a week. It adds up, obviously. You take on more risk, it's more reward. You're willing to risk it, you got the biscuit. 38.25 if you're willing to trade, it's more risk, obviously, but it's the same trade. It's the same trade. It is scalable. Okay. This isn't a home run strategy. This is a base hit strategy, but it's a base hit over and over and over. Right. And so we've got this smoke and mirrors economy. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm literally braced for a lot of downside. I've got hedges out to August, September, and December. I'm doing that because I want to cover my butt. The reason I'm back up to all-time highs for my portfolio, even with this little tiny bullish bounce, is because I hedged like crazy in January, February, March. Because I have to be. It's to me, it's a systematic thing that I have to do with the money that I manage, and it helps me also offset the drawdowns and fight the good fight. So. I get it. From 2020, life has not felt the same. Costs are out of control. The biggest thing to corporate America right now is, can they keep passing on higher costs to us? If we are the consumer nation, are we going to keep spending more money for things? And if we do, then prices are probably going to keep going up, right? Until we have a squeeze for the consumer where they're really stretched and overextended and they stop spending money, prices are still going to get more expensive. I mean, car insurance, homeowners insurance, housing market, auto. We know it. I don't have to sit there and we know it. It feels like crap. Everything's more expensive. It's been a frustrating 4 or 5 years. And what are you going to do? Trade. I'm going to trade my way through it. This to me is one of the best revenue generators that I have, and I rely on it every single year. And part of that is because I know the process. All right. It is a broken economy, right? We had a K-shaped recovery since 2020. Those that have done really, really well. Those that have not are continuing to struggle. A lot of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people worried about the future. I get it. It's a very pessimistic outlook out there, but that's not me. I'm a glass half full type guy. I think you live in the present moment. Be thankful for the things you have. Don't worry about the things you can't control. That's life. So could I use the extra $100 a day? Sure. I love it. Why not? Right? Daily profit, that's what it's about. So these are real trades, real money, and that adds up. $765, is that enough to cover a car payment? Is that enough to set aside some money? Every single week making a couple $1,000 to help make things a little bit easier. Sure. A little bit more risk. Sure. $4,000, I'd love it. Same trade. Now you're talking from a car payment to a mortgage payment. But again, are you comfortable with the process and scaling the strategy? And let's not forget, this is all during some crazy times we've seen just in the last couple of weeks, look, 2024 is no picnic. You might be sitting there thinking like, oh, 2024 is pretty easy, Chris. Was it? You had a 5% pullback in April. You had a 10% pullback in August. You had a crazy rip during the election. You failed during the holiday season. There was no melt up in the holiday season. And then you had an awful beginning of Q1, pretty much. So it hasn't been easy. 2023 was easy, but we came out of a terrible bear market in 2022. So nothing about this has been easy. If it was easy, then everyone would be freaking millionaires. But that's not the case. Most traders are so emotionally tied to these markets, they get it wrong. Everyone is so pessimistic what the market do. It ripped up. So anyway, daily profit, what do we do? Winner after winner. That's what I'm going after. So how does this trade work? Well, let's talk about this. You want to trade with me tomorrow? You can trade with me tomorrow. I'm looking at a lot of big numbers here. We're talking about $1,000 a day in risk, and we can take that as small or as large as you want. You just got to be comfortable with the process. Now, I'm not telling anybody here to quit their job and come in and go all in on daily profit, make this their exclusive strategy. No, like to me, this is not my exclusive strategy. This is a strategy that I do every single day because for me, I like to trade. I like to trade every day. I like to know that this market today, it's just today. Worst case scenario is I've got defined risk. Worst case scenario, I take a loss. Best case scenario, which I see 90+% of the time, I win. And I don't have to worry about yesterday or today or tomorrow. I just trade. I just trade what's in front of me. So it's just, I trade the day, I win the day, I move on, right? So this isn't a magic pill to solve or manage the future. This is going to be a base hit grind over the next, 5 or 10 years, whatever you want it to be. So I'm showing this because this helps supplement the income with a chance to target what I think is really systematic, mechanical, steady profits almost every single day, right? And I don't think a lot of traders take full advantage of that, okay? Because most of the time, what I'm doing with this strategy is we're stacking on the probabilities that we're working with the smartest institutions in the world that are delivering liquidity and, basically making a market for us. Market makers, it's you've got buy side, sell side liquidity, and 90+% of the time this market is cooperating. Okay. So when I place a trade with this service, I expect to be on the winning side. That's why I can set the trade in, put my take profit in the broker platform and walk away and expect the trade to be profitable. If it isn't, then something probably weird happened that day. So when you stack up the data plus the live trades we've done, we're still winning around 89% of our trades. It's pretty darn good. Okay. And if we're targeting about 100 to 150 bucks or smaller or larger, depending on your scale and your comfort level, it's just daily income. So it doesn't really matter if you're going smaller or larger, doesn't matter. Just learn the process. So this to me is one of the strongest probabilities that I've seen for capturing daily income. Okay. I mean, we're in the markets every single day. There's 250 trading opportunities. If you just traded one day, there's about 250 trading days a year, right? That's a lot of opportunity. If we did multiple trades a day, there's lots of opportunity, right? And I think to have that many trades and have that many wins feels pretty good. Like that's a high confidence trader, which is what I like to be. April of 2024, one of the biggest hiccups we had for the start of the year. Fed's being firm on rates. The markets went down, 5+%. We had nasty readings. Dow's down. The Fed's going to scare the markets. They're going to be too sticky. Inflation's too high. Blah blah blah. It's all noise. It's all noise. Doesn't matter. Daily profit play. What do we do? Winner after winner after winner. Here's April of 2024. That entire month, we went 4 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 5, 4 for 5, and 2 for 2. We finished the month 19 out of 22 winners during what was one of the worst months in 2024, right? One of the worst months that we had seen since 2022. And we did the same thing making money in July and August when the market pulled back. We did the same thing making money through December. We did the same thing making money this year in January, February, March when the market was all over the place. We still have a high win rate, right? We're generating money. We're generating returns. That's good. So I want you to think about that. Regardless of the market going up or down, we still make money, right? We still have an 86% win rate during that chaotic month, 19 out of 22. That's only for one trade a day. We still make money, right? So while most investors, freak out when the market's falling, wondering like, what's the Fed going to do? Nothing. The Fed is an emergency backstop. They're not going to step in at 10%. The Fed's going to step in at 20%, 25%, 30%. That's when they start to, flex their muscles. My concern is that we're going to find it this year. That's my concern. But if we melt up and we hit all-time highs, great. That's the easy surprise is that the Fed doesn't have to do anything. The market just melts up, but then we're getting into asset bubble. We'll talk about a bigger crash coming later because it's probably going to happen. Either way, we still make money during ugly market conditions, and daily profit play just grinds it out every single day. Okay. And the nice thing is I spend about 5 minutes taking this trade, not even, and then I spend the rest of the day ignoring the stock market. Now, that's for the strategy. Once this trade is in and my broker has the take profit order, I don't have to watch this trade. I go do other things. I go find other trades. I go analyze the market, try to find other opportunities. But I can ignore the market pretty much the entire day. So that means I'm not sitting for my computer all day. I am because it's my job, right? But you don't have to be. You can go take a walk, touch some grass, go read a book, binge your favorite show on Netflix, go do something fun, But we're making money during terrible months. We're making money during great months. Whatever you're comfortable risking, we make some profit. So, I mean, again, the numbers, if you risk 1,000, risk 2,000, risk 4, whatever, you make money. Okay, that's cool. Do you have to do market prep the night before? No. In fact, one of the easiest ways to approach this strategy is don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze it. Let the market be the market. Let the market makers do what the market makers do best. Do we have to get any sense of, what's Trump going to say? He's on the calendar today. What about this 8:30 news, Chris? What about the 10 o'clock news? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all priced into the markets. These markets are highly efficient. The options market is one of the most sophisticated markets in the world, right? Do you need a special brokerage? No. You just need a broker, stock broker that you can trade options with. So it's really straightforward. I know if traders are in my service, in fact, I found out today, I probably had 10 members that were very vocal today in this morning's class, and I could tell they were very new. And that's okay. If you're new, I could teach you the strategy within a couple of live sessions. I think by a week of trading with me, you're going to see the mechanics work out. You're going to see the mechanics play out. And I've got daily profit play pros within about a week. It's not that difficult, but there is a bit of a learning curve to it. And that's fine. I think you're all here. You're smart. You're capable. You should be willing to learn something that's going to work. So wrap your head around it, learn the process, and off you go. Right. So, the heavy lifting is done by the market makers. And all we do is ride their coattails and we let the brokers take us out for profit, and it works out. We automatically get our goal, and that's the trade. So under the hood, here's what's going on. We're flipping one of Wall Street's kind of biggest secrets hiding in plain sight on its head. And this is what it is. Okay, I'll get to that in just a moment here, but I want to target consistent income. I think averaging about 80, 90, 90% every single day is pretty darn consistent. And, I get it. People want more money. People push back retirements, turning the stock market to catch up. since 2020, the market's been a catch-up market. Everyone's been FOMO. Everyone's been wondering what's the next stock. Like last year, it's like, oh, I bought Palantir. Good for you. You made one of the best choices in 2024, right? I bought, MicroStrategy. I made one of the best. Great. But what if you didn't? I mean, there's ways to just grind and trade boring old indexes and still make really consistent returns. So I think a lot of traders have the right idea of trying to use the stock market for a vehicle to generate income, but a lot of traders have a terrible approach to doing it, right? They just trade the wrong strategies. They trade things that are putting them at a disadvantage. And the reality is the market doesn't move this much, right? The shocking secret I mentioned is this orange line is what the market does when we see gaps higher, gaps lower. The direction of the market is actually mostly closed market times. The biggest moves we've seen in the markets are overnight moves. I know Graham runs a service on overnight moves. I know that Graham plans on prices going higher and having these explosive gaps. It works. Okay. I like this style. I like the style where price doesn't have to go anywhere because intraday, this is what the market typically does. It grinds, it churns. I love it. That is using the market powers at what they're best at every single day. And this is where I can make money. So I don't need the market to go anywhere. So I was in the session with Raleigh last week or the week before, and he was like, the market's so directional. And I was like, I could care less. I mean, honestly, if the market goes nowhere, I'm really happy. I can make a lot of money if the market goes nowhere, right? If the market goes crazy volatile up or down, I could probably still be fine. you know but man, I love boring markets because most traders watch nothing happen and they get frustrated and they're like, I can't believe this, my account's not going anywhere. I make a lot of money in those markets. So the opening bell to closing bell window, the market usually is a zero-sum game. Okay. And so when the market's returned effectively 0% gains over a 2-decade window, I'm going to take advantage of that. So if you're a directional trader attempting to trade intraday direction, you're not going to get it consistently, right? So when the market's closed, that's when it's typically moving. You get those futures flows, you get the global flows, and it comes in the US market, and you get gaps higher, gaps lower. That's the direction. Otherwise, most of the market doesn't move. Intraday hours doesn't really move that much, which I'm totally happy to see. So when it's zero ground, I want to make lots of money. So this is what puts most traders at a disadvantage if you're trying to day trade or trying to directionally trade because you don't get the move that you want. So when you buy options, what most people experience is you buy an option, you're paying the premiums, you're basically paying all the expected move, and you need it to go the expected move and then some to make some money. And that's not fun. So it didn't move enough. You watch your options decay, you lose out, your options turn pretty much worthless. And it turns out, yeah, a lot of people do this and it's not their fault. Like you're just learning a basic strategy that directionally it is doomed for failure because the market most of the time is going to give you about the expected move or less than the expected move, and you're not going to make any money being directional. That's okay because we need to flip that on its head. So when most traders lose, right, most traders are losing money most of the time. Let's go ahead and just flip that on its head and take advantage of, okay, you want to be a speculator and trade direction? I will sell you your speculation. I will sell to your speculation and I will take the transactional premium, right? So daily profit play hits right around opening bell. We trade during normal market hours. Not difficult, right? We're flipping the lax direction on its head, and this is what we get. Instead of losing 90+% of the time, we're winning, right? So when the market has short-term directional options, or if you're buying short-term directional options and the market gives you no direction, you're going to lose, right? That's a recipe for disaster, being directional in a non-directional environment. So what happens if we just do what the data shows us? Let's do the exact opposite of what people think. Let's do the actual real data, what the market's doing on a day-to-day basis. While most people lose, our study shows the opposite. We win, right? So this isn't some special type of trade, right? I just need the market to basically churn, right? The market can go up or down. The market goes sideways, but I just need the market to cooperate within the ranges that it's set up for the day. It's all done ahead of time. And this is everyday grinding that allows me to capitalize on income. And like I said, I don't need the market to move for me to make money. If the market moves, I can still make money. If the market moves up, I can still make money. If the market moves down, I can still make money. If the market moves sideways, I can still make money. That's a pretty good approach to have in these markets, right? It doesn't matter whether we're going up, down, or sideways. We can still make money. So the market can go up or down, go nowhere at all. We can still make money. As long as the market doesn't make an extreme move in one direction in probably a 60 to 90-minute window, we're fine. And even if we do have extreme moves, the markets can still bounce off of levels and we can still make money, right? So this trade does not last that long. We're in these trades for maybe a couple hours at max. I'm usually out of these trades by noon, 12:30 at the latest, if I had to hold it that long for maybe 2 to 3 hours. But we're usually clocking out with automatic winners within a couple of hours. So I'll say this all again. You don't need to predict where direction will go, right? I'm not a directional trader with the strategy. I don't care, nor do I control what the market's going to do. I just trade. So what are we required to see? Well, if price cooperates with just normal day-to-day pricing, which is usually pretty calm and pretty churny, in the 60 to 90 to 2 hour window that I trade it, we make an automatic win. It's pretty simple. Doing that about 90% of the time. Last year in August, markets all over the place, daily profit play, never threatened the upside or downside income. Okay. Whether the market goes up, down later in the day, doesn't really matter. I'm usually out, right? Either the first 60 to 90 minutes of the day, I'm out. So who cares if 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, oh my gosh, you see what the market did at close? Doesn't matter. I was already out. August 22nd, I grabbed $102 by 11 o'clock. Market actually finished the day way lower. Didn't matter though, because we grabbed the $102 earlier in the day, right? Daily profit play locked in. So this is why I love the trade. This is why I like getting my hands dirty in the markets every single day. Give me a chance to carve out a winner. Stack the odds in our favor, turn out the noise. Yesterday doesn't matter. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Trade for today. It's a good mindset. You can take that mindset into life, live in the present moment. Think about the future. If you're optimistic, cool. But too many people are pessimistic and stressed. It's just not worth it. Stress is a killer. Worried about things you can't control is a killer. Like, just stay in the moment. Market's going to be here today. It's going to be here tomorrow. Just focus on the process. That's a big proponent to what I do, right? So we carve out winners, even if the market does make a big move, because like I said, usually these moves are happening overnight. Here's an example. In July, we had this huge gap to the downside. Again, headline news is terrible. Market starting to roll over on itself like it did summer 2024. Worst days is 2022. Obviously, that's a bad headline. That's going to get people scared. But what's happening in daily profit light? Well, the day before we carved out for 120 bucks. We miss the overnight exposure. So we're not getting that 1+% gap, right? We just focus on the next day and we actually carve out our profits that next morning. So we have $120 here, $120 here. We missed the overnight move. We're not sitting here like, oh my gosh, the market's down. Worst headline since 2022, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Most traders are down big. Most traders are watching red in the portfolio. We just carve out another winner with daily profit play. Okay, August 2nd, that's when the non-farm payroll hit. That was a terrible jobs report. It's triggered the SOM rule. And, all of a sudden the market starts to price in some bad things. The BOJ on top of that, it was like this perfect little storm of deleveraging that was an ugly event last year. The Nikkei dropped 27% in a month. The Nikkei had the biggest 3-day drop in its history, right? And that's a crazy market, by the way. The Nikkei had basically a 35% drawdown, or I'm sorry, a 35-year drawdown. That sucks. Can you imagine if we entered a decade drawdown where we didn't make all-time highs? I mean, I think U.S. investors would be freaking out. Anyway, we avoid the market move, right? So we avoid the overnight move. We don't, whether it's up or down, we avoid it. Like, up is obviously great if you're bullish, but as far as making income, it's like I want to avoid the overnight nonsense and noise and just trade the next day, which is supposed to be a grind churn day. 180 bucks. That's better than watching the market go red and seeing a drawdown, right? So most traders that are exposed to the overnight move, if they're on the wrong direction, they're losing. So we just turn in a little bit of a crash, or whether it's a rip to the upside or a crash to the downside, we just turn that into cash the next day because it was trade current market conditions. Okay. So whether it's a big move or not, we're avoiding the big moves overnight and we're just trading the day that's presenting itself, and we just make some profit. So all these overnight moves, it's really deceiving. This is an example from July. This was wild, by the way. This is summer trading. Volume's a little bit lighter. This is what multiple days looked like. We had a crazy awesome win streak in July of last year for this exact reason. Easy win, easy win, easy win, easy win, easy win, crazy overnight move. Okay. That was a giant move. And you look at the headlines, you're like, man, everything's up, 1%, 2%, 3%. My gosh. Right. Well, that's great for the buyers and holders, or, but think about a trader looking for overnight moves that doesn't get it for multiple days and you get 1 out of 5. Okay. Or think about the trader that's making money every single day. And that overnight move is a one-off event that it's like, well, that's cool for the people that have been waiting for something to happen, but we are grinding for income every single day. I'd much rather have that be my approach. Now you're seeing why this has become a go-to strategy for me every single day, right? I can take a chance to pad my account, get cash nearly every single day with a high win rate. It does very well and has done well. I have lived through this environment, traded through this environment. I've been in the markets for 25 years. I've traded through zero DT. I've probably logged 1,000+ trades in zero DT in the last 2.5 years. So I see, what this trade looks like. I see what this thing does every single day. Um, I'm comfortable with it, you know, and low volatility, I've seen it. High volatility, I've seen it, and we're still doing very, very well with this strategy. So brings me to this month. One of the worst months we've seen in years, right? Most people that are trading directionally probably had a lot of pain unless you are bearish. That's about the only way you're making money. I was fortunate that, yes, in my overall portfolio, I was hedging, but also day to day, this is what we did with daily profit play. 33 out of 34. Pretty good streak. And the reason why is I start fresh every single day. The day before doesn't matter. The day after doesn't matter. It's the day to day. Bullish, bearish, sideways doesn't really matter. Okay. And so the overnight moves don't really matter. It's what is the market going to do today? So this to me is a really nice income method. The buy power, we'll talk about that more in class. I literally did it today. We can go buy power as little as $300 to $400. Buying power as little as $700 to $800. Buying power as little as $1,500 to $2,000. But that's buying power. We only have to risk a fraction of that in each trade. So we'll talk about those mechanics tomorrow in class. So you can certainly start small. You can make this trade for as little as $300 to $400 buying power, maybe a stop loss in the $100 to $300 range. That's about the most I'm going to risk every single day. For me personally, I'm probably going to risk anywhere between probably about 300 to $1,000 is going to be kind of my max risk. That's my window. I can always survive in there. If I take a loss, who cares? If I take a win, I expect to win, and I just keep trading. It's like I'm very risk conscious, and I want to be that way. I have to be that way. So anyway, if you have a larger account, you can scale it. We're trading super liquid instruments. This is great. So I'm pretty proud of this. For this presentation, we went back and found what's the best streak this thing had over the back test from the start of 2022 to now. There's a 32 trade win streak in 2023. Okay, July to August, there was a 32 trade win streak. I'm happy to say that we're literally at that right now. 33 out of 34 winners, and that one loss was a hedge on my part that I just wanted to protect the downside just in case. But we've had 33 out of 34 winners. That is a streak, and that's not a back test streak. That's a real win streak. So I just thought this was interesting because that 32 trade win streak was averaging about $143 per winner. So in a month and a half of trading, for just the standard risk we're talking about with the strategy, there's $4,500 of profits on that run. That's pretty darn good, right? Like that. I don't care who you are. If you have $100,000 account, that's 4.5% in a month and a half. That's moving the needle, you know. And if you scale that up or scale that down, you're just extracted into let's go out for the next 6 or 12 months. Like it is helping traders make money. So it feels good. And what are you doing? The same thing every single day. So I know that the streak is not typical. I just did a take profit on SPX, by the way. So now we're 34 for 35. Thank you very much, Miss Lippy. That's a nice little winner. I'll take it. And then let me check on one thing here. Yep. Okay, good. So that's another winner today on Daily Profit Play. Hooray. So do I expect to win 30 trades in a row? I don't know, but I know on average about 9 out of 10 trades I'm winning. And so if I average out of 100 trades, we win 90 of them, we're making money. Out of 1,000 trades, we win 900 of them. We're making money. We're making plenty of money. Our edge requires us to have about an 80 to 81% win rate, and we're averaging 89%, 90%, 91%. That edge over thousands of trades is going to make me money. Okay, and so that month and a half making $4,500 feels pretty darn good. Like I'm telling you, I don't care if you have a small account, that's a lot of money. You have a 100K account, that's still 5% a month and a half is great. It's awesome. So obviously more risk, more reward. You make over almost $9,000 for the same stretch, month and a half. You want to get a little crazy, and I'm probably got some crazy traders in my service that are taking 5K risks a day or 10K risks a day. They're probably swinging with some bigger accounts. It's the same strategy, everybody. So if you're comfortable with a 10K risk on those positions, you're making $50,000 in a month and a half. Same trade. It's just, do you have the money? Do you have the $% risk that's within a calculated risk you're comfortable with? If you're not comfortable with that, obviously never take that risk. But even if you're making $4,500, it feels pretty good. Even if you're making $2,000, it feels pretty good. It's just a process. So whether it's one contract or 100 contracts, this challenge, I know this challenge has already helped members become basically full-time traders. They wanted something to latch onto. They want a strategy that works. They want a strategy they can follow. They like the process. They enjoy the process. They're good at it now. They understand the mechanics, and they're killing it with this service. And I'm really happy to see that. Okay. This is a real chance to take advantage of a situation that happens almost every single day. Right. And we're getting trades closed out automatically like I just had. I was just talking and I just had my bells go off. You may not have heard it, but I had my daily profit winner just exit. So if you want to set up your first daily profit with me, you can jump in tomorrow. We'll talk about what ticker was true trading, how to determine the range, what options we take for the setup. I do all this in a ton of education. This is a very robust class. There's a handbook, there's an A to Z strategy guide, there's videos, there's master classes. I also pulled 3 specific live sessions that we did back in January where I had an influx of like 100 new traders. And I went through like very detailed education right before we took the trade live. So they're great sessions to watch. Is January 27th, 28th, and 29th. It was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday leading into a Fed FOMC. We took advantage of daily profit play with education and trading, education and trading, education and trading. And all 3 trades were like perfect textbook, like explain the trade, take the trade, in and out with profit by the time the session was done. I couldn't have asked for like a better 3-day window. So those are great classes to get started. In addition to your handbook, you'll see how simple it actually is, and to see how repeatable it actually is, right? So anybody can start using this. If you are comfortable navigating a broker platform, placing option trades, you can cash in this strategy like I do every single day, right? Try to 90%. I'm fine. Anybody can get started. Do you need $1 million account? No. You need advanced software? No. You need a broker, permission to trade options, and you're good. Right. So to make 100% sure that you can tap into the very next opportunity, join me live. You want to come into my session live? We start at 9 a.m. Eastern time every single day. I am live with this group every single day. This is one of the first services that I started here at Prosperity Pub. This is probably one of my most like value packed, time demanding services that I run every single day, but it's worth it because it gives me a good sense of the market every single day, gives me a chance to make some routine income every single day. Okay, so I answer questions live. I trade with people live every single day. Obviously, I've got traders that are waiting, watching alerts and waiting for Telegram to update that don't join me live because I see it every day in my Discord. And I see people, email me like, Chris, you take a trade today? Yeah, I posted in the trackers and Telegram. Oh yeah, I missed it. But people that trade live, you see me do it live every single day with real money. Okay, so I'll be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You're all welcome to join if you want to jump in the service, and we'll set up a real money trade. So if we charge a la carte for that, we'll charge $497 or something. There's going to be a cost of the service, but I'll get to that in a minute. Like this is for the value that's in the service trading every single day live with me. I don't know if we have a service that is probably this much value packed into it. Just saying. If you'd like to jump into my daily profit alerts, that is tomorrow. That's the challenge. That's how we take advantage of this daily profit play challenge. Doesn't matter where the stock market's going. We just focus on the process. We capitalize on the lack of market movement. We've capitalized on what the market makers do best. We take advantage of what the most sophisticated institutions in the world do every single day. That's all this is, right? And since the release of 0-day expirations since summer 2022, like I said, this was one of my kind of go-to strategies when volatility is relatively high over like a 40, 50, 60-day window. And I made lots and lots of consistent profits this way. So because it was one of my favorite strategies, once we started to see 0-day DTE, when I was with a hedge fund that I worked with, I was basically running a portfolio that was all 0 DTE, and it was not fun and it was not easy because this is the first time, and I'm like, do I need to be a directional trader, non-directional trader? And like I had to figure it out. In the first month of trading 0 DTE, I was trying all sorts of strategies with very small trade sizes until I felt like, what can I start wrapping my head around? And I went to an old standby, tried and true strategy that I usually take on higher durations, and I put it into a 0 DT environment, and it freaking worked like a champ. So it was an easy way to say, okay, after watching maybe one day be directional for the week, I'm like, well, let's be non-directional. Boom. All of a sudden I'm winning 90% of my trades. And it's 0-day to, so I mean, the one trade I take for a 45-day window, now I'm taking the trades every single day. More money. So you can move the needle pretty aggressively, which is kind of nice. The 0-day expirations, it is all the rage in the markets. I'm sure. I mean, if you've been in the markets at all for the last year or two, you've probably heard about this. 50+% of all option trading volume on indexes is 0 DT. Market makers, this is why we've had such stable markets the last couple of years. I really believe this is a stability. This is like a stability and liquidity instrument to the markets now, because it allows everyone to be hedged for the day. So I mean, everyone's worried about this black box, like, oh, the algos, the quants are going to be breaking the markets. Honestly, it's a reset. Like the market is in hedged over every single day. So it's, to me, provided a lot more stability in the markets when everyone was worried about it at first. But I think this is the evolution of the market. I think that we're going to see 0 day expirations coming on more liquid instruments like your Mag 7s. Eventually, it's going to spread out to like your top stocks and most liquid instruments in the world. And eventually, you're going to see a market that's probably evolving into like a 24-hour market. That's where we're going. And I'm hoping at some point in the near future, I hear this from the executives at Tasty Trade. I know they would love to see the pattern day trading stuff removed because it's just hurting traders. If anyone has less than 25K in margin, it's an old stupid rule where, look, if you have a small account in Forex or small account in futures, you can trade 1,000 times a day if you want to. But if you're an option trader, you can only trade 3 times a week if you have less than 25K margin. It's a stupid rule. Eventually, I think it goes away. It's going to favor brokers. It's going to favor volume. It's going to favor business. I don't know why they're even keeping that rule. So maybe eventually we see it replaced. But anyway, Rise of Zero DT is good for the markets. I think it's very good for the markets. And as I've traded this many, many times over my career, this to me is one of the best day trading opportunities that I have ever seen, right? If I want income today, this to me is the best way for me to get it. So we talked about how options melt away. If you're a buyer of options, you see that if you're not right directionally, you are going to lose very fast. So I don't want to have to be right directionally. It's difficult. It's very difficult to be right directionally every single day. Okay. So I want to flip that opportunity and give me a chance to make money every single day. And the same thing works. The same thing applies if we're selling options. Time works very quickly for you. Time works in your favor because as a buyer of options would watch their premium decay. As a seller of option, you watch your premium decay, right? You watch your time decay work in your favor, and we get the results very, very quickly, right? So after analyzing all the zero D stuff the last 2.5 years, and tomorrow in class, let's spend some time in that tomorrow. If you want to jump into live session, I want to go into the mechanics. I'll kind of do like a mini masterclass tomorrow morning. So if I have some new traders coming in tomorrow morning, let's have like a mini masterclass for the session. That'll be fun. Then we'll still trade live. But 88.8% win rate, pretty darn good. Hot little win streak at 34 out of 35 because it just closed out for another winner. And that means we're winning about 9 out of every 10 trades, hitting our objective like clockwork. That's what I want to do. And the results stack up. Okay. Now, here's what's included with Daily Profitability. This is the only service I run every single day. It's the only service that I have that's its own members only Telegram channel. I have a bigger Telegram channel that has 1,800 followers. This service has its own Telegram. I go live every day, post the alerts in the tracker, in the chat. So it's very catered to like the member experience. And you'll see the trade that I take live in the session. You'll see the trade I'm taking live posted in Telegram. And you don't have to track it all down. You don't have to log in all over the place. It's like Telegram, same time, same place every single day, right? So we're coming in for opening bell, looking to trade. I'll post everything there you need. It's really easy to follow. And we do it live every single day. Okay. So access to Telegram, what's included? Well, obviously I'll give you the ticker, the entry price, what we're doing with the options, our automatic management instructions, how the trade is open and closed, easy peasy. We're doing this, every single day, roughly around 200 alerts a year. Now it's probably more because realistically there's about 240, 50 trading days a year, not counting holidays or whatever. And at the end of the year, towards December, when the market's a little bit lighter volume, I typically look to trade only directionally instead of non-directionally because the market's kind of drift in the holiday season, whether it's up or down. Like last year, we had a bit of a holiday rally, and then the Fed came out and it just messed everything up. So we had lots of crazy swings in the market over that year, right? So anyway, point is, I'm pretty comfortable and confident we're gonna have over 200 alerts a year and over 200 live sessions for the year, and I'm still looking to maintain a really high win rate. Okay, so a lot of services you see that are offering, maybe 30, 40, 50 trades a year, you're still going to pay, close to $2,000 for something like that. So if I'm doing 200 alerts, I'm giving you lots of value. And this is why I think with the time I have in the service, the trades we have in the service, there's a lot of value packed into it. On top of that, there's tons of education and lots of happy traders, right? You come to the session tomorrow, you'll see the whole community will welcome you with open arms. Everyone gets to talk to each other, and we have a great session every single day. Okay, and we're doing it live. So this is why I agreed to do the same, not just the alerts, do it tomorrow in class, but every day I go live with this thing every single day. So yes, alerts along with live sessions every single day in your member Telegram and in your one-click member portal. We're doing this live in the markets. If I charge for the time, I'll make a lot of money, but I don't charge for that time. I charge for the education, and yes, the time is a part of it. My time is a part of the service. So it is a valuable service. It's a ton of education every single day. It's little nuggets every single day. And I'm evolving the daily profit play for the following ways. I want to just make money every day. If I can find the highest probability trade, I'll take that trade. Sometimes I do have an instinct where I'm like, look, I want to be directional for this week. Let's focus on this. And we do, and we make money. Sometimes I just want to take the mechanics of the daily profit play. I'm not trying to make it confusing. I'm trying to use this as a service to make money every single day. That is what I'm trying to do. Make sense? All right. So do you have to attend every live session? No. If you're at work, if are still, you look at the same Telegram channel update almost every single day around 9:35 to 9:40 in the morning, we're placing a trade. Okay. So if you have questions, come in live. If you have questions, you can email me. You have questions, you can email support team. They'll get them to me directly. So I want to make this an easy service to jump into, a great educational experience, as well as obviously a trading experience that gives you a chance to be successful. And like I say all the time, I am nothing more than a retail trader. Do I have experience in the market? Yes. Have I been trading a long time? Yes. But I'm in the trenches with you every single day trading live money. So if I can make money with a service like this, if I can make money in these markets, so can you. Okay. All right. So is this some crazy elite level price? No. Let's get to that in a second. You got the handbook, the A to Z strategy guide, the video series. I've got a bunch of bonuses that I'll go through in just a moment. We're trading live together every single day, over 200 alerts every single year. It's fine. If you're new to option trading, awesome. I love new traders that have zero to no knowledge, because I think I can turn them into practical options traders where they understand the mechanics. They understand there's a core strategy here. They understand the process, and they can focus on trading. It doesn't take, look, you don't have to know all the crazy things about the Greeks and all the crazy things about implied volatility. And look, you know that if you do this in the market, this is what needs to happen. If you place this trade, what's your risk and reward? What does the price has to do in order for you to achieve reward, or to have the risk come into play? If you know that stuff, then you can be an effective trader. So I mean, learning options is nothing more than understanding, if I buy this call or sell this call or sell this put or buy this put, I trade it for a credit or debit. That's about it. That's basic learning curve. So, I refuse to accept the objection that I hear a lot of traders that, and maybe they say it, maybe they don't, but the traders are like, this is too complicated. No, it's not. This is a strategy that makes money. Give me complicated. It's not complicated, right? So I will make something that maybe seems complicated, but I'll simplify it. I'll make it easy. I'll make it very digestible, bite-sized pieces of education that you can see within a couple of days. Oh, this is what we do every single day. I can do that. Yes, you can. All of you can do it, right? It, if I thought this was complicated and difficult, I wouldn't do it. I can take this trade in 5 seconds. I can exit the trade automatically with my broker platform. it's not hard. Okay. So there's training. Yes. There's education. Yes. We do it live. Yes. Like, I don't want anybody to be overwhelmed. I want this to be simple onboarding, simple education, simple live trading, and the proof is in the pudding, right? Let's talk the talk and walk the walk. All right. So if you're not trading options, if you don't want to trade options, then this is not for you. If you're not going to trade options, this isn't for you. But I know if you're in Graham's services, Graham's an option trader. I'm an option trader. I migrated an $8 million portfolio to trade options because it's a better way for me to treat my client money. It's better. My risk adjusted returns have been the best of my career. I've managed money for the last 15 years. It is it's as good as it's ever been, because I migrated the last like 4 or 5 years exclusively to trading. Mostly 80 to 85% of what I do is trade options. I'm good at it, and I'm happy. Clients are happy. Members are happy. It's all good. Okay. So I have a getting started video series with you. For this particular class, I've got the A to Z strategy guide. I've got additional bonus material that I'll talk about here in just a moment. So the basic of options, not that difficult. Okay. You should be willing to learn something that helps you do better. Be willing to learn something that you can make money up, down, sideways. I want to learn more about that. You should. Okay. So I'm happy to take any beginner and turn them into a daily profit play pro. I think it takes about a week. If you're really going to dive into the live sessions with me, dive into the education, you'll get it. You'll get it in a couple days. Give it a week. You'll be fine. You'll see us trade it every single day. So all the trades I take live with live money is also tracked in my tracker. It's in the members area. You can check it out. It's a spreadsheet. Like we all have spreadsheet trackers. The next bonus I want to include, this is a big one. Since the inception of Zero DT, the back testing, the live trading, plus the streak we've been on, 793 daily profit play alerts. Out of 793 trades, 705 of them have been winners. That's a lot of winners. So you can see that we're trading with a high degree of confidence here. Okay. So if you put in $1,000 per risk, Okay, this is crazy. Now I mentioned like, okay, this is just steady income, make $100 a day. That's great. Well, I have a trader like Lynn, one of my members that took a $4,000 account that's now trading for over 20 grand because this is the approach. You take a little starting account, risking, this is scalable, right? You want to risk 5%, 10%, whatever. But this is a compounding approach to this strategy. 5K account risking 15% over the last 2.5 years that zero DT has been around. This is what happens. 5K account over the last 2.5 years with winners and losers and zero DT with his daily profit play strategy, 5K turns into $54,000. It can be an aggressive growth strategy as well if you're willing to focus on that process, right? So I like the idea of making 50 to $100 a day. I'm happy with that. I love that. Okay. But for traders that, want risk capital, can you grow this? Yep. Grow it very quickly, right? And it's scalable. I watched a session last week. There was I'd follow some people. It's Tasty Trade, big broker. Tasty Trade is one of my favorite brokers. I've got advisor accounts. I love working with them, and they interviewed a trader that turned zero DT trading and 45 DT trading into an $8 million winner. He was managing about $5 million and made like 30 to 40% on that account with zero DT trading. He's doing the exact same strategy that I'm doing. So it can be a growth vehicle in addition to steady income. Okay. Speaking of steady income, I'm going to take winner number 2 right now. See if I can grab it right here. Winner number 2. See if I can. I'm just going to make a quick modified order. 2 for 2 for today. Boom. Real trading, everybody. Let me do a quick update for my members so you can see this. Daily profit play. Trade 1. Entry 240 credit. Closed 210 debit. Trade 2. Entry 250 credit. I'm just updating this right now. I try to do this in real time. Closed $2 debit. 2 for 2. Nice work. Boom. And we're out. So now we go 35 for 36 on daily profit play. No big deal. Okay. So without having to risk more than 10, 50% of your account, this is also seen as a growth strategy if you want to use it that way, or it's steady income. I like the steady income. That's my style. That's my I nibble at the market. I take little bites, lots of base hits, and I do very well. But I never take huge risks. I never want to take big risk just because I'm one big risk away from losing on that risk. That's going to piss me off and mess up my track record. So I'm good with slow and steady wins the race. I've been in this market, in this marathon for 25 plus years. I don't see any reason why I need to take these crazy outlier risks. So can you make a bunch of money with this? Yes. Can you grow your account aggressively? If you're willing to take the risk? Yes. Can you have a steady, systematic approach every single day? Yes. Okay. But as I said, nothing is guaranteed. There will be losers in this strategy. Okay. I'm not perfect. 89% is not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. And we've had good runs. We're having a great run right now. I'm super happy with it. And you can see like I'm confident what I do. I placed this trade this morning, and right now by 11:49, I've got 2 for 2 winners. I'm happy within a couple hours. So here's a crazy bonus. Now, this is probably one of the more challenging bonuses that I put out there. I don't know if anybody else is doing this in their services, and I'm going to blame Nate if this doesn't go well. Just kidding. But if I don't show a 90% win rate over the next year that you're in the service with me, you'll get another year for me on the house. I will give you another year of the service, and I'll trade with you for another year. Now, look, this could literally be 89.9% winners, and you can still get a free year out of it. Now, that 89.9% is still going to be a profitable strategy by a lot. Like I will make a lot of money if I'm maintaining an 89% win rate. But if I don't show at least 90% over the next year, you will get another year of daily profit play, service, alerts, and live trade sessions with me for free. Okay. I don't know if anybody else is doing that. So I think it's a huge challenge for me to say that, yeah, I'm going to maintain a track record on this thing at 90+% on a 0-day strategy. That's insane. But I'm so confident that we can turn it into profit that we'll do it. And I know that's how it works. Okay. So that's more trades, more alerts if needed on the house. Otherwise, yes, you want to stay in the service, you're going to pay for it again. But here's where the bonuses come in. So we have some prices. We got some bonuses. I think you'll see it in the chat here in a moment. But I don't think it's fair to ask for another year if we're not hitting our objective. So I've set the milestone and the bar very high by saying I think we maintain a 90+% win rate. That's my plan. So that's, another 200 plus trades a year on the house. I think the alerts and the system, the strategies, everything educationally, it's a no-brainer. There's nothing about this course that's intimidating. There's nothing about this course you can't do or handle. Learn a process. I think this is a great strategy to take advantage of an up-down sideways market, of something that you don't have to predict anything. You don't have to plan on any market movement at all. So the next time somebody says, man, the market's been really boring, good. That's what I want, right? Oh, the market's been really crazy. It's been fine. I made money. Like, it shouldn't matter. That's the best way to trade, in my opinion, is to be essentially a market neutral trader that can make money in any condition. Right now, that's probably what I need and want more than anything else. I don't want to have to know the market's going to go to all-time highs or break down and be a potential recession. That scares a lot of traders. I would say, whatever, who cares? Point is, I want to make money regardless of what the market does. We can't control what the market does, but we can control our risk, and we can trade a strategy like this that's a very nice, high, consistent win rate. Okay, so crazy guarantee, 90+% win rate. If not, I'll give you a free year of the service to trade with me live, and everything else goes with it. So that's everything going in. Other bonuses, let's talk about that. I think we have the pricing coming in here. Let me get there for a second. Okay, so price wise, is it crazy? 10 crit? No, I mean, let's just get down to the numbers. $9.97, an entire year of the service. That if I don't maintain a 90% win rate, you get it for free. So $9.97, another year of the service for free. $9.97 for 200 live trading sessions, 200 plus alerts, maintaining an 89 to 90% win rate. I mean, again, I know my job is I'm at 89% right now. I got to get the thing up to 90%, right? It's fine. I'll do it. Okay. So I think this is a valuable service. I think there's tons of stuff in it. There's golden nuggets every single day. We're talking about the markets and we're live every single day. I think a lot of members love it. They see that I'm a real trader with real money, trading this thing every single day live. So we're not done. We got other bonuses here. First one's simple, because it's a daily profit play targeting about $100. If I could wake up every day and somebody hands me $100 bill, I'd feel like there's some financial freedom that's starting to build. There's momentum that can build on that. $100 a day, $100 a day, $100, that feels pretty darn good. Okay. So $100 a day, let's just do this. The first $100 is on me by just taking it off your price. So $9.97 for the year. We're going to give you that first $100 winner on the house, and now your service for the next 12 months is $8.97. That's a pretty good starting point for 200 plus trades, 200 plus live sessions, lots of education to go with it, and I'm trading with you live every single day. That's a pretty good deal. Okay, and if I don't maintain a 90% win rate, you're going to get a second year on the house for $8.97. Not bad. Now, a second winner on me is how I can take the strategy and not just trade it every single day, but also trade this on my favorite asset classes, trade this on my favorite stocks, trade this in bigger time frames. There's a bonus class on Daily Profit Play. It's a master class we did on more assets that I'd like to trade, more ways to extract this strategy into other asset classes and other times. So I can trade this in a 0-day environment, trade this in a 30-day environment, trade this in a monthly environment. We've actually, for the longer trades we've taken in this, I think we did about 15 in the last like 6 months of service. We are 13 or 12 for 15 with big winners, like bigger winners. Case in point, this last week, I think on Monday, I closed out a trade. I pulled in $5 credit and closed it for $350 and $310. So $150 a contract, $190 a contract in about a week and a half. It took a week and a half to make that. So again, income feels pretty good. So that's a bonus class. If we charge $100 for that, I'll throw that in as another bonus, right? What's the third winner? Well, the third winner is going to be, if you come into the service new with me, your subscription won't actually start until I log a trade that's a winner in the tracker. So today, for example, I had new traders in the service for this week. We just logged 2 for 2. Their subscription starts. You come in to join me tomorrow. If we log a winner for the service, your subscription starts, right? But if I don't have a winner, then we'll kick it and we'll have a winner probably Monday. So all good. All right. So that's 3 winners on me. With that being said, let's go and drop the link. We have the phone number 904-706-3537. Give us a call directly. This is why, if you want to give us a call, here's why. Telegram access, email access, SMS notifications, all at your fingertips. What's the most convenient way to get these alerts live in real time? That's the important thing is like make sure you have that instant access, get your classrooms, get your education, go back and watch a master class and get like dialed right in. So when you come in live tomorrow, remember it's a live trading session. So tomorrow morning I'll have like this mini master class in the morning, but when it comes to opening bell, we're going to trade. So if you're not really caught up yet, not really, know what the strategy is, if you're not comfortable navigating your broker platform, then you do not have to place a live trade. Obviously, never place a live trade unless you're comfortable taking it. Okay. But it's a blended education and trading session every single day. All right. ProsperityPub.com/DPP or give us a call 904-706-3537. Lots of value, $897 for a full year of the service with that 90% win rate guarantee. And the extra bonuses on top of that. So let's keep going here. Let's see. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, this has been one of the biggest services I've offered right out of the gates. I think this is value packed, and I'm setting a high bar where, I mean, that's like, I keep going back to that. Like, look, if I log 1,000 trades, that means I have to have 900 of them be winners. Okay, that's a lot of winning trades, everybody, right? So again, I said I'm up to the task. I'll do it. All right. So if you purchase for $897, don't close the next page because you will have an opportunity to upgrade for an additional year for pennies on the dollar. Okay, so it's a few $100 and you can get an extra year. So even if I don't, again, I'm planning on getting a 90% win rate. I'm just telling you, I'm planning on it. But if I don't, if you take advantage of the price for the additional year, so it's $897 plus that additional year upgrade for pennies on the dollar, I'll still give you the extra year on me if I don't maintain that 90% win rate. Okay, and there's also an opportunity to upgrade to lifetime. That's a one-time payment that is never pay for it again. Okay. So if you want pennies on the dollar, I think the 2-year price point is unbeatable. And then the lifetime is if you love the service and know that, I really like trading with this guy, i.e. me, then lifetime upgrade means you never pay for it again. Okay. All right. And we'll be live tomorrow. We'll start the session at 9 a.m. $100 challenge workshop. This is what the market does every single day. This is what we take advantage of. I just logged in 2 for 2, which is perfect. I'm so happy that like right in this session live, logged in, close out 2 for 2, send it out to members. Thumbs up from everybody. We're in and out. Yay. Okay. So we take the lack of direction and we make money. Yay. It's not that hard. It's what the market does every single day. Even for the last month and a half, when you're like, this market is crazy. No, it's not. We made money every single day. 35 out of 36 winners, right? It's good stuff. Winning, I'm going to say 90% of the time because I have to maintain that. I don't have to maintain that to make money. 80 to 81% makes money in the service. 88, 89, 90% over hundreds of trades, we're going to make money. 1,000+ trades, we're going to make money. This is our edge. If I have like a little 7, 8, 9, 10% edge in this market and this strategy, and I take thousands and thousands of trades, I'm going to make a lot of money in this service. It's that simple. Like that is how this is distributed. It's a great market neutral strategy. Okay. It doesn't matter whether the market is up, down, sideways. It doesn't matter if it's going fast or slow. The market is the market. Market makers have been doing this for 50+ years. We are now doing the same thing. Okay. Ignores all the noise. Focus on the opportunity each and every day. What happened yesterday doesn't matter. What happens tomorrow doesn't matter. Focus on today. Never have an overnight risk. We don't have multiple positions on at once. We don't have to predict market direction. We just trade. All right. And also, like I showed, this can be a scalable growth vehicle as well. If you want to take, risk capital and grow it, compound it, it can grow very quickly. So that's a lot of return. Is that my style? No. Should I do that? I don't know. Maybe I should. But I mean, I'm busy. I got a lot of accounts to manage. I'm not trying to take that much risk. Maybe on a personal, but I just like making income. I'm good about just steady, and not taking big risk. I know for me, it's a game of numbers. If I take 1,000 trades and I win most of them, I'm going to make money. It's that simple. So for me, also the emotional side of I don't want to take a loss here. If I was risking 15% of my account, I don't have that many chances to get it right. I've got about 7 or 8 chances to get it right. And as I get down, I have less capital to work with. So margin for error is pretty tight if you're going that type of risk. Just keep it in mind. But does it still work with a high win rate? Yeah, works a lot, but still, that's not my style. So Nate, that's your style. You compounded it. It's an awesome showcase. But I like making steady 50, $100 a day. That's my thing. All right. I think we're about done here. I'll wrap it up. How long have I been going, by the way? About an hour and 15. Okay. Just want to make sure I respect your time here. I appreciate everyone being here. Thanks, Raleigh, for popping in here. Anything
Oh
else in the
yeah.
chat? Oh, I got some live chat questions here. Let me address these, and then I saw a lot of questions pop in the chat, Raleigh. So I know we want to get to those. But some FAQs that come in. I mentioned this earlier. Margin accounts. If you have less than 25K, what about pattern day trading? There's a couple easy workarounds of pattern day trading. One is if you have an IRA, okay, and it's a cash account, it's cash settled. It's a T+1. So if I have an IRA that I can trade options with and I can trade spreads like I do in the strategy, I can take this on all of my accounts and it will, I mean, I've got IRAs anywhere between, 45 grand and $500,000. So I can place all these trades. It's never really an issue. But cash accounts are T1 settled, which means it takes the trade and takes that buy power today. And then by tomorrow, it's settled and you can trade again on Wednesday. So if you had a small like Roth IRA or small IRA account with the ability to trade options, you can trade Monday, cash settled. If you need that cash again, it's ready for Wednesday's trading. So a cash account works as long as you can trade spreads, and IRA accounts usually do the trick. I have traders that open up small accounts, and they have small account with Tasty Trade, small account with Thinkorswim or Schwab, and then maybe a account with like Robinhood or Webull, and they just pick their battles. Like you can take up to 3 trades a week with daily profit play and never go over pattern day trading. So
Right.
take 2 trades with Tasty and 2 trades with Schwab or 3 trades with Tasty and Schwab, and you get your 5 trades for the week, but you never get flagged for pattern day trading. That's another workaround. There's also another workaround, Raleigh, which is you can trade ES or MES, which is trading the futures market. You can trade futures options, and ES is the S&P, and MES is the micro E-mini futures. So the mechanics of the trade work very similar, but there's no pattern day trading restrictions in the futures market. So you can trade 10 trades a day if you wanted to in the futures market. So there's workarounds there where there's no excuse for a trader. If you want to take the strategy, you can do it, right? Permission to trade options is the most important thing. And then knowing if you are a margin account that has pattern trade trading restrictions, you have multiple accounts and different brokers and you can space it out, or you can trade ES or MES and the mechanics
Yeah,
work very
and
much
the
the
other
same
thing
way.
is this, Chris, you're on average, you're going to probably be giving what, 3 to 4 trades per week is the way it averages out. And so from that standpoint, if I got a margin account, you could take 3 trades per week. You don't have to take them all,
Well,
but you,
I'll give you this. We
yeah.
nerded out we nerded out on this. There's a master class from December 31st where we talked about what days are best to trade. Now this is like a
Yeah.
rolling live, like this is live data because maybe March 31st is different. But if I go back for the last 2.5 years, Mondays and Wednesdays were the best time to take this trade. They had the most statistical edge over the last 2.5 years of zero DT. So if you had a pattern day trade restriction, well, Mondays and Wednesdays give you the highest probability to be successful.
Yeah.
So trade Monday, trade Wednesday. That's your highest win rate, and you never get flagged for pattern day trading, and you're still getting trades that you want. And that way, it's like you don't have to feel like you're missing out because you can't take 5 trades a week.
Exactly.
So
And folks,
yeah,
once again, that's if you have a margin account less than 25,000. But
correct.
as Chris said, if you're going to be trading a cash account, there are no pattern day trading restrictions whatsoever. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Correct.
This is such a good point that you're mentioning there.
Yep.
So how much capital is needed on every trade there, Chris?
Yep. So I will show this tomorrow in class. I can make the risk capital or the amount of buying power per trade as little as $300 to $400, or probably maximum for me is around $1,500. That's buying power only. I rarely risk that much. Usually my risk on the trade is going to be about $350 to $750. That's about my average risk.
Okay.
Um, and again, I'm looking for about $50 to $100 a day with that type of risk.
All right.
So we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's very easy to show, like, this is my trade. This is what, if I want more risk, we can talk about that in class. It's really easy to show it. But on the high end of buying power for like even a 1 contract trade, 2,000 to be the high end of buying power, but we take it down. I'll show you how it's very scalable.
Okay, great.
Okay. New to
What if people
options.
are new to
Yeah.
options? They've never traded
Good.
options at all, Chris.
Good. I want new traders because I want to get people over the hump of options is so intimidating. Options is so risky. It's like, no, it's not. Options is literally the greatest tool in the world of trading. I trade a successful fund in Forex for almost a decade, and it was a grind, and I used little to no leverage. And that was the only way I could survive. And I made a lot of money in Forex, but man, it came with sleepless nights, and it's a 24-hour market, and it's just different. And in options, I can take the trade up front knowing that the market can go directionally as high or as low as it wants to, and I'm set for a profit and a risk that I'm comfortable taking. That to me is like that was a game changer where my mindset trading options has allowed me to be a much more binary trade. Like I win, I lose, I move on. I win, I lose, I move on. And you just set the trade up. You know it all going into it. We are trading with a statistical edge every single day. And we make money, Raleigh, with the law of distribution and numbers. Like
Sure.
this is what the market does, and this is what we take advantage of. Even with an outlier move, which Raleigh, you know that something's going to happen this year. We're going to have something that's going to
Yeah.
break the market in 2025, and nobody's going to see it coming, right? Nobody's going to see it coming. But if something breaks, our trades are only going to have defined risk or defined reward. And it's one day. We like one day that the market has an outlier black swan move, we are going to be fine because we're only going to risk or reward a certain amount that's very survivable. And if you're new to trading options, like I said, let's take away all the mumbo jumbo and all the tricky vocabulary and the stupid strategy names, and let's get to like the nuts and bolts of what you actually have to do and know as far as placing a trade in the options chain. Here's your calls, here's your puts. I've got all this education on it. We do it live every single day. So I would love to have a bunch of new traders that are wanting to learn how to trade options, because if you come into this class, learn some mechanics on options trading, you're going to love it. And you're going to want to explore more options trades. And that's also why for my lifetime members, I have a $500 course that I'm including to lifetime membership, which is called Practical Options, which is 13 of my favorite option strategies, because I think about the market in terms of options. Right? If the market goes up, can I make money? If the market goes down, can I make money? If the market goes nowhere, can I make money? Options allows me to do that. Otherwise, I have to be a directional trader. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. So I want to go on what's easy. So new to options, you're in the right place. I'm happy to take anybody that knows little to nothing. I talked about this before, Raleigh. I taught options to my 17-year-old nephew, and I taught options to a 90-year-old client that could barely turn on a computer. So it's not hard, right?
That's the
It's not that
spectrum.
hard. Yeah. So if you're in that range, you can somehow, like, I think you can figure it out. Okay.
Sure,
I've
exactly.
got a trader this last week. I mean, literally, I did some one-on-one sessions with him, and struggled to navigate the broker platform, struggled to follow along, and now, like literally last week, Raleigh, he started like really starting to feel comfortable. He was 9 for 9 in the last 2 weeks of trading
Well,
with this
yeah, because
strategy. So like it's clicked. It's finally clicked, and it's taken him maybe a month to really get his feet wet as far as new to options, new to following. And now he actually he asked me, he's like, Chris, I'd like to do another one-on-one with you because I want to show you what I'm doing. He wants to show me like, yeah,
ah,
he's kind of bragging that he's better than me. Which, because he's trading more than, like, I'm taking one trade a day and he's taking 3, 4, 5 trades a day, but he's winning, and I'm so happy for him. So he's just confident with the process and he's making money, and I'm really happy. But to show where he was to where he is now, he was new to options. So I know that my education is good enough to get people to where they need to be.
absolutely. And the thing I just want to reinforce for everybody here, in case you've missed it, every day that Chris puts out an alert, once again, he sees an opportunity. He's going to send you the alert, but you have the opportunity to join him live every day and watch him place that very same trade. And you can ask questions. And Chris, once again, you are so transparent and you're so big on education. You let people know what's going on.
Yep.
So you don't have to attend. You can just get the alert, follow the instructions, and place the trade. But for people that are getting up to speed, the fact that I can watch you place the trade, learn that process, practice it myself, open up a simulated account, make sure I know what I'm doing, and get comfortable with the mechanics of the trade. Because honestly, Chris, you're doing the hard part. You're giving us the trade.
Sure.
My job is to figure out, how do I place this trade? How do I get into it and get out of it? That's what I got to focus on. And that's why you're saying, guys, anybody should be able to do this. Apply yourself.
That's it. That is
So,
it.
do I need an indicator to trade this thing? Is there some kind of a magic thing I have to put on my charts?
Nope. The beautiful thing about this is all in the old options chain. So I
The
share,
old
what we're
option.
expecting and what we're expecting for the day, volatility wise, expected market maker move, expected levels. Like we talk about all that here. So no indicators needed. There is an indicator that I can provide if you're interested as a lifetime member. There's an indicator, you can have it to plot on your chart. So you can trade it. And the reason that indicator would be valuable would be if you want to trade this on not just an index, but on a stock or on a futures market, like you trade gold, oil, silver, copper, whatever. But the indicator will kind of help give you these levels that you can follow, but you don't need it. This is all within the standard option chain that all of you have from your brokers, and that's a good thing. So yeah, it's very simple. Raleigh, I think this is my final slide here. I am live tomorrow. Here's what I'll say. If you are new to the service, if you're new to the service, I'm gonna because Graham was so kind and gracious enough to let me jump into the room today. I want you to come into my Zoom session tomorrow. Okay, and so new to DPP, I want you to type in Graham. Okay, so the secret word for tomorrow morning is Graham. If you come into my Zoom session at 9 a.m., type in Graham, and I'll know that you are a new member joining me from this webinar today. And we'll give you a shout out, let the whole community say hi. We'll get to work. We'll do a mini masterclass. We'll jump into the trading when it's opening bell. And I just want to give thanks to Graham and thanks to Graham's members that if you're going to jump into the service, I think it complements really well. I mean, I know Graham is a great trader. I'm really happy with what he does on a day-to-day basis. I know he serves his members well. I think what I'm doing here is it's not an overlap. Like it's a complement to what Graham does as opposed to I'm competing with him. This to me is a market neutral strategy. This to me is a in the trenches every single day. So I'm not a swing trader with this strategy. I'm not a big picture trader with this strategy. I am a grinder with this strategy. But the nice thing is I don't need to know what the market's going to do. I'm legitimately concerned over the next 6 to 12 months that we are either going to see a 20+% correction in this market, or we're going to see this melt up all-time high that leads to a bigger bubble. But rather than worrying about that, I'm just going to trade and keep this hot streak alive, which is now 35 for 36, and we'll keep going. And there's hundreds and hundreds of trades we've taken together live, over approaching 800 trades for the service as far as like total results from 2.5 years, and still averaging about 80, 90, 90% wins. So yeah, I mean, I've got my work cut out for me for that 9% guarantee. But if you're new to the service tomorrow, type in Graham. Let's have the whole community say hi, and let's find a good trade tomorrow.
That's outstanding. Well, we did have some questions that came up during the presentation.
Sure, go ahead.
I've answered a lot of them, but that was a private response. I'd like everybody in the room here to know about it. So one of the questions that came up, and it was just asked again, when, on those rare times that the trade's going against you, do you use any kind of a stop loss, or do you have any kind of a tripwire or exit strategy to minimize your loss? Or do you basically just say, hey, it happened, move on, let's step up to the bat plate and swing again?
Well, I'll give you the full parameters in class tomorrow, but there is an opportunity to cut the losses off. I talked about it this morning. I had one of the sides of my trade today was threatened a little bit. At worst case, Raleigh, is I was down about $200 for the day, and ended up making about $100 on the day. So I was willing to accept and ride the risk out a little bit, and I still made money on the day. So to me, the most important thing, the way that I run this with the best mindset, is I'm comfortable up front with the initial risk because it's risk defined. So if I'm willing to risk $300 a day, I'm going to risk $300 for the day. If I'm willing to risk $700 or $800 for the day, I'm willing to risk it. If I'm willing to risk $1,000 or $2,000 a day, to me, I'm already knowing that like I'm rarely going to risk more than like $2,000 in a given trade. And the reason why is because that's typically about that 1% or just less than 1% risk for me. I can always come back from that. But when I start taking 2, 3, 4, 5% risks for my personal accounts, all I know is like a lot of my wins, Raleigh, my thousands and thousands of trades, my wins are usually half to 1%, 1%, half to 1%, 1%, thousands of times. So why would I take the risk of a 3, 4, 5% loser that's going to force me to claw back and have to win, 10, 15, 20 trades? Now I can do it. I can still claw back. But for me, it's about risk defined. So I'm comfortable letting the trade work because I'm telling you, the mechanics of these market every single day, it is so stinking efficient. Like the way we lose in the strategy would be the market has to almost do something so weird. The market has to go up and stay up for the entire day, or the market has to go down and stay down the entire day. That's about the only way that I'm going to lose in this neutral strategy. Now, that being said, also, I'm a trader. If I see the market is looking postured to go higher, looking postured to go lower, then we can take one side only and we can be a directional trader for the day. We can, wait 30 to 60 minutes and then place a trade later in the morning. So my Telegram is also running the full session. That makes sense. So like if I don't love the trade in the morning, or we take some heat in the morning, I might let it play out, but also place another 1 or 2 trades. And that has happened. I've taken a trade where I lost in the first 60 minutes of the day, but then I take 2 or 3 trades later in the day and win. And all of a sudden I'm break even on the day. So I'm using this service to just make money for the day, make money for the week, and grind out some profits. Like it is a service to me this is my opportunity to jump in the markets every single day and try to carve out some winners. That's what I'm doing.
That's great. That's a good answer to that. And once again, folks, please remember these are risk defined strategy. As Chris says, he
Yep.
knows what he's putting at risk and he knows what the winner is going to be. And you're not going to win any more or lose any more than what's basically put in the trade.
Yep.
And that's the way this works. So that brought up the next question because a lot of people were wondering what kind of options are you trading here and what level do I need? Now, I was responding to people with that individually, but Chris, just help people understand in this particular service, what level should they have, or what kind of option trade should they be prepared to place?
A risk-defined spread trade is what we're
Okay.
going to use. So a lot of that, and we have a guide for that, right? We have the guide that can get you to like level 2, level 3 options. And
Yes.
the magic phrase is going to be you're using options to speculate. Your purpose of your account is to speculate, right? That's pretty much telling the brokers like this trader is willing to accept risk. So you're speculating. And
Hmm.
on top of that, you have experience in the market. And whether you think you do or not, I mean, if you've had a job that has a 401k plan, you have 5, 10, 15, 20 years of market experience. You are invested some way, shape, or form of dollar cost averaging, target allocation. Like you have experience. Now, you may not have explicit options experience, but I will teach you that. You'll go through these services with me live. So if you let the broker
Right.
know that you have options experience or just experience in the market in general, which you do, and
Yep.
then you're looking to speculate on your account, that is the magic combo of giving you proper permissions of level 2, level 3, level 4, so you can trade how you want to trade, right?
Right. And
Yeah,
by the way, the escalating levels, folks, doesn't mean that the risk is escalating, okay?
correct. Yeah.
That's one of the myths about this. It's just once again, the trades become a little bit more complex, but this is not hard to do. And once again, what Chris is doing, let's remember this. He's basically figured out using zero dated options how you can go ahead and trade, get in around 9:35, be out within 60 to 90 minutes using a spread trade, okay? That basically will give you a winning trade, as long as it stays within a defined range, which is what it normally does. And like today, Chris, you obviously saw two opportunities that made sense and you won on both of those trades. So
Correct.
I guess there's some times when you might get a couple of trades during the day, but that's the way this works. So some other people are wondering, so are you trading individual stocks or indexes or what? Now you did cover that in the presentation, but I think zero dated options basically from definition means that there's a small bucket of stocks that you can trade, correct? Or indexes in this case.
Yeah, so 0 day, if you want to trade every day, you're going to be trading indexes, right? So you're trading the S&P and the Nasdaq. You can trade. I think the Dow only has 3 day expert. It's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Russell might have every day, but I don't like. It's less liquid. So S&P, Nasdaq, primary. S&P, my favorite. That's the most liquid. Um, And then individual stocks, if you want to trade 0 DT, you're trading on Fridays. I don't love it. We've done it before. There's a bonus class on it, but I don't love it.
Okay.
Stocks are way more volatile, Raleigh. I mean, think
Yeah, I
about it.
know.
So, and the studies are really interesting. Like the market makers put in these expected moves on indexes that are typically overstating the actual moves. Stocks can surprise us. We can have like, oh, that big move in Tesla, that big move in Meta, that big move in Netflix. If that was a Friday expiration and it's a 0 day environment, those stocks are usually going directional for the day.
Hmm.
And I don't want to trade direction. So I like the indexes where it's super liquid. This is market makers using, all their tools and resources to basically control the market. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're taking advantage of what this market is, where it's by the deepest pockets in the world, it's controlling levels, right? And
Yeah.
if they're wrong, they're hedging. So I mean, 0 DT's been around for 2.5 years. Big whoop. Market makers have been doing this for 50 plus years. So they have done it through all the crashes, all the booms, all the busts, all the recessions, all the quantitative tightening and easing, all the different presidents. It doesn't matter. Market makers have a job and they do their job extremely well. We are trading like them. So they are trying to control market levels because they make the most money when they control the levels. And so we rely on them to keep doing their job. And they do a great job at it because that's how they make a ton of money.
Absolutely. I love that, Chris. Last question here that I had here was that Chris, so some people are saying, "Hey, if I join the program, and I'm with you guys every day, I am probably going to be able to learn how to pretty much do this on my own." Would you agree with that, Chris? Is that one of your goals is to help people stand on their own 2 feet? I mean, they'll get the benefits of the alerts, but you're also, once again, explaining so much how it's done. I would imagine at some point in time, people might be able to call the same trades.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just rattle off some members that are basically doing this as like their exclusive, almost full-time strategy. Dave is now doing this and loves it. He does, multiple trades a day. Mark, John, Kathy, Lynn, um, Catherine's another one. I have fudge. Jason is doing it. So I'm thinking of like the chat today. I know a lot of members and they come in and join me live every single day, but they're doing it like with me in person, live, and then also doing it on their own. Where it's like I see them on my Discord in my options chat, and they're talking 3 for 3, 5 for 5. This week I went 10 for 10. So I mean, and again, hats off to them for taking the strategy and running with it, making it their own, customizing it, tweaking it the way they like it. They stick to the mechanics. Some of them like to get a little bit bigger on size. Some of them like to just trade more throughout the day. Some of them like to go a little bit skewed. All it means is I'm giving you the framework, and you can customize it to your comfort level and customize it to your risk level that you want, and just trade. Like at the end of the day, I want you to be as successful as you want to be. Like that example of 5K to 50K, that happens, right? Lynn took 4K to 20K doing that. I've got Catherine making $1,000 a day with the strategy. I've got Mark making $500 a week with the strategy, or $500 a day with the strategy. I got Dave making like 150 to $200 a day with the strategy. So it just, if it helps traders, and actually Dave messaged, he was like, I just said, keep up the good work, and he's like, it's not work, it's fun. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, Dave runs a successful, he has like a successful like rental business in Florida, and he's really busy with that. So like his little like fun hobby side hustle is jumping in the markets and trading. And he's now like he's crossed that learning curve where now he's like in it. He likes it. He's controlling the risk reward. He's loving the process, and he's doing really well. So lots of happy
Absolutely.
members. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, make it what you want. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to trade this thing every single day. And so if you're new coming in live, you just want to come in just because it's fun to hang out for 30 to 60 minutes a day, that's the plan. So yeah, I want you to be as successful as you want to be. There's nothing in this strategy that isn't yours forever. Like when you learn the strategy, it's yours. You learn the skill set to be market neutral, it's yours. Think about that for a second in the market. It doesn't matter what the market does ever again, up, down, sideways. You now have a market neutral strategy that you can help generate income. And you
Absolutely.
can extract it out. Like I said, Raleigh, we did when the volatility was really high throughout the month of February, March when we were falling. We placed a trade, and it took about maybe 10 days to play out, but a $500 max profit, which it wasn't really the plan. If I sit on it longer, then yeah, maybe I can make $500. I still made $190, and I did it within a week. Like that strategy for me is really successful, and it actually hit a bigger profit target than what I normally take. So there are also times in this strategy to be very opportunistic, and we'll talk about that in the class too, because it's as much as this is a zero DT type strategy, the mechanics of this strategy can also work in a 30, 45, 60, 90, even a year environment. It's a little different as you go out longer, because then it's like, well, now you have time to roll the trade of one. So that's a whole different like paradigm to the strategy. But the mechanics of it are, if you understand it, you can do so many things with it. It's very flexible and malleable into like what you want, which I think is good.
Perfect.
So, but
It
again, I
is
like
good.
it every day. Every day is easy. Every day, I don't have to overthink it. I don't have to overanalyze it. I don't have to care where the market's going. The market does what it does today, and we win or lose. We win a lot. We expect to win a lot, and we move on. Like that to me is pretty straightforward.
Absolutely. And folks, I just went ahead and posted, the pricing summary that we have here. The 1 year is $897. Terrific price, Chris. The two
Yep.
year program is $1297. And for those of you that would like to have lifetime, the total cost for lifetime is $2194. So if you sign up for the 1 year program, an additional $1,200 gets you the VIP. If you sign up, for the 2 year program, it's an additional $700. Now, the one thing about lifetime that I would just like to clarify with people is not only is it just, that's the best economic price that you can have, but Chris is also providing a couple extra bonuses. He's going to share with you a document which are his 13 favorite option strategies. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. And he's also going to provide you with the indicator that you can go ahead and use to start plotting some of these trades on your own. Now, when I come back to those 13 strategies, if you remember, Chris is a huge believer that the way to trade the markets is with options. He's sharing a strategy with you today on how to trade zero traded options. But as Chris said, he needs to be nimble enough to trade the market if it's directionally up, directionally down, or sideways. And from that perspective, there's a basket of strategies that he might use at any given time to extract the most amount of profit from the markets. So for those of you that are thinking seriously, going, Chris is making a lot of sense. My focus here is going to be on learning strategies and techniques. I am going to get option level 3 so that I can virtually do anything in the market. Well, with VIP, you're going to get those tools. And I hope I'm not overstating that, Chris, but that's the sense that I get.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want everyone to be successful. I just posted the chat rally. This is for all new members as well. So I want you to come into the session tomorrow, type in Graham, let me know you're new. But if you also join the service, even if you're just like joining for the 897, I want to include a 90-minute strategy session that is just to help get you up to speed with just trading options. So this is a strategy session that's for, anybody new, learning some basic options, walking through a couple scenarios, and just kind of eye-opening. It's like an eye-opening session to show this is what most people think about options. I buy a call, I buy a put. What does that mean? I'll show you something very basic on what's the difference between trading an option like a buy call or buy put versus trading a spread. And if you start to get familiar with that and you think about, man, I barely need the market to move to make money. I barely need the market to go anywhere to make money. That changes the playing field where now you don't need to rely on the market to do anything. You can still make money in these markets. That
Sure.
makes sense. So I want us to share that with any
Makes
new member as
total
well.
sense, Chris.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, listen,
Cool.
buddy, thank you so much for your time today. The questions have kind of piddled out, if you
Okay.
will. We covered a lot of ground. This is an unbelievable service. Thank you, Chris, for not only your time in presenting this today, but also all the work that you put in to making this a reality for us as individual traders. Because I know at the end of the day, this is something that you developed for yourself to give you
Correct.
an edge in trading the market. I mean,
Everything I develop is for myself.
it starts
And
with
everything I
yourself.
develop is like, I will trade it because I'm going to prove that it works. And if I think it's worthy enough for me to use it as a full-time strategy, I think it's worthy for other traders to learn it too. So everything I'm trading in this market is a service that I run. And again, if I'm taking live trades with live capital, I think it's worthy of, you can follow along, get the same trades. So there's nothing that I'm doing in a service or trade that I'm not taking with live money.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, Chris, I'm going to grab the screen here and stay with
All right.
folks
Thanks,
for
Raleigh.
just a couple more minutes. But once again, thank you so much for your time today. Folks, I'm going to hang with you, like I said, for a few minutes. Chris is a busy guy. He's got trades to monitor, he's got alerts to put out, he's got education to prepare. So from that standpoint, once again, we want to thank Chris, for his time. Now, one thing I want to mention to you is that this was a live presentation, okay? And it is being recorded. And if any of you would like to have a link to a copy of this presentation, I'd like you to go ahead and do three things for me. When you go into the, let's see here, let me publish this to everyone. Go ahead and give me your name, your email address, and say, send me the replay. Put that in the chat window. It's private, so I'm the only one that sees your email address. And when we're done here, I will go ahead and share that email address with our customer care team, and we will send you a link to a replay of this as soon as it's available. And once again, the program that Chris is talking about today is called Daily Profit Play Alerts. And this is his flagship program. This is the primary way that he looks to day trade the markets using zero-dated options. And when you join the program, not only are you going to get the alerts, and these alerts are going to come to you via a Telegram channel, but you're also going to get an awful lot of educational material as well. You're going to get the daily profit play intro to options, which will help you understand the options that you need to know to be able to place these trades. You've got the live trading room, and this is so cool. I don't know how many people do this, but Chris is going to give you an alert virtually every day. Okay. And you have the opportunity to come into a Zoom room and watch him place the trade and ask him questions about it and hear as he discusses the setup and placing the trades. Once again, that's a core part of this program. And you can come every day, or you can elect just to get the alert and place the trade on your own. But the point is that Chris is going to be there for about 30 to 60 minutes every day, before and after he places the trade. And I think that's, unbelievable. You're going to get 200 trades per year. So you can expect right around, 4 to 5 trades per week. There may be a day when it doesn't happen because the markets are closed. Or maybe Chris just doesn't see anything that he likes. And we appreciate that because he's personally curating every trade. So you're also going to get access to live workshops and any of those. We have the recorded versions of those as well. You get the Daily Profit Play Handbook. You get the Daily Profit Play Tracker. This tracker is really great. So for you guys that are coming in there and gals for the first time, you can go here. It's a big spreadsheet where Chris is basically he puts all the trades that he's placed on this program. So you can see forensically, how things are going. And as Chris mentioned right now, I think if we include the 2 winning trades today, I think he's 35 of 36. He's won 35 of his last 36 trades. Okay. And you get to see each and every one of those. So you go to prosperitypub.com/DPP. And this is what the landing page looks like. And you can see that you have 2 options, $897 for 1 year. You can also sign up for 2 years at $1297. And if you select either one of those, another page is going to pop up and give you the option, if you want to go for lifetime. And the lifetime price is $21.94. So once again, here you go. Don't close the next page. Lifetime is $21.94. Not only will you never see a renewal fee, so it's a one-time payment and forever, you'll never pay another penny. And even though we make changes and modifications and enhancements, we don't charge software upgrades or software maintenance fees for our software. Secondly, these are called legacy licenses. And what that means is that at some point in time, if you're in a lifetime program like this, if you would like to gift your membership to a son, a daughter, a friend, a loved one, heck, put it in your will, you can certainly do that. And what a gift that would be to provide somebody with lifetime ongoing access to this program. All you have to do is call us and tell us you'd like to transfer your membership, and we'll take care of you, and there's no cost to do that. And as I mentioned, there is a couple of other things that you get when you sign up for VIP. You're going to get the daily profit play indicator when you upgrade. So you'll be able to download that and you'll be able to plot that on TradingView and Thinkorswim. Okay, so that you can basically, this will be helpful to you as you learn to go ahead and place these trades yourself, but not only on the zero dated option trades that we're focused on, which is the SPY, but also how to basically focus on other trades, individual stocks that you might want to trade with options. And he also does include his 13 favorite option strategies. So once again, this is a quick little summary that I wanted to give you. I see that a number of you are asking for a replay. That's outstanding. Thanks for the replay. Perfect, folks. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming today. We understand that your time is valuable, and we certainly hope that you got good benefit out of this program. Not only Graham's session looking at the market, where he also placed several trades live with you, but also having Chris come in and share with you how he likes to day trade these markets. So once again, terrific that you're here, and we certainly hope that you have benefit. I am going to save the chat now, and and well, let me see the other questions. We have a question here: futures. Does Chris go over futures? Oh, I see what you're asking. Yeah, because he talked about, not futures in general, specifically the E-mini S&P and the micro E-mini S&P. If you'll remember, when talking about this being a day trade, one of the options Chris mentioned that if you don't have a $25,000 margin account, but you would like to trade the SPY, okay, one of your options is to trade futures. So there is the E-mini S&P and the micro E-mini S&P. There is no day trading rule for that. The typical margin on the E-mini S&P is $500 per contract. If you trade the micro E-mini S&P, the margin account is $40. And so once again, if you want to know more about that, Google it, okay? Google E-mini S&P or micro E, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know. But essentially, you can go to a regular brokerage account, or you can go to a futures broker and basically open up account with relatively little dollars, and you can trade the futures market. Very, very fast moving. You need to know what you're doing, but here's the key. Since Chris is focusing on the SPY and the E-mini SPY, they trade virtually identically. So if Chris is basically saying, here's an opportunity to go long, and by the way, I think most of these trades are long big trades, but if he basically says to go long in the SPY, you can just enter a market order at that point in time on the E-mini S&P. And then once again, follow that up and get out when he recommends that you get out. But that's an option, and that's certainly something you should ask him about in the master class, because I know he'll be glad to cover that for you. So with that, folks, once again, thank you so much for your time today. I'm saving the chat to make sure that I have your email addresses and I know where to send you the replay. And with that, take care. Have a great Thursday and a wonderful Friday, and I look forward to seeing you at a future event.